Kick back, listen to Zach, the baddest motherfucker on the six-string act. I'm in the blackout society, born to raise hell, rock, kill, and drink. Oh, it all seems like one drunk day. I'm a drunk and I'm fried. No lost soul can save my life. No, I am how I am in my way.
All right. Welcome, all you pull getters. And I say that because if you're watching right now, you got love from Daryl in your heart, man. You miss the guy just as much as we do every day. So it's another December 8th. It's a very somber day for many reasons. It's just one of them crazy days that, I don't know, it seems cursed almost. But here we are, trying to make the best out of a horrible situation. And joined here by our friends, man. Got Randy Bell in the house.
Hi, y'all.
Aaron, of course, you guys know him, and we're going to talk Dimebag tonight. We're going to air some videos, some stuff you've probably never seen before. And, Randy, one of Daryl's oldest friends, so he's chock full of all those experiences. It's just a matter of drawing them out. They're embedded deep in the files of his brain, and we just got to get him to remember that stuff. So you're going to need to move this mic closer. I can tell you that right now. So we're going to get lapels pretty soon.
Get too relaxed here.
I know, right? Mike's way over there. Yeah, what I was saying. Sorry. Anyways, so Randy, man, let's play a video real quick. For those of you guys that might not know Randy, he was in the Pantera home video during the credit rolls, and a lot of the footage was your footage used in those videos.
All three, yes, sir.
So check it out real quick. Are the mics on?
Hopefully this video does you justice. Remember, if you're gonna do drugs or drink, do it on the holidays.
Man, look at that beautiful head of hair.
That beautiful head of hair, huh? Where'd it go? You lost it?
Oh, yes, sir. It's on my back and ears.
What year was that? I mean, and can you
goodness
describe,
gracious.
just that little clip right there that he decided to use for the credits? Like, what was going on at that time?
That was the ending of a movie that we were making called See Ya at Boots. And I think I had just been arrested on my 5th DWI.
Damn.
And I was only convicted of 2. Not that matters, but we didn't have Lyft and Uber back then either. And if you got on a bicycle, you usually got hurt. But no, we were doing a movie called See Ya at Boots. It was about drinking and driving. And it was me, Rita, Little Tiff, Daryl, and we were using Andre's truck. But Little Tiff was playing a state trooper, and she arrested me and threw me out of the car and busted my head open. We had ketchup packages and all kinds. This tape is around somewhere, and I don't know who has it. I know somewhere in Daryl's tapes and stuff, it's there. And then if I'm not mistaken, there was a couple other people. One of the few videos that I didn't do and take all myself, because this was after Daryl had started getting in and hiring people to video. He had Bobby Tongs, I think, had already come in. In fact, I think either Daryl or Bobby did most of the filming on this. But anyway, I never got to see the finished, but I always had the copies, and I copied them off and gave them to Daryl. I always had the originals, but that was one that I didn't. So I never did get to see the finished movie, which he finished. So if somebody out there knows who's got it, and if I might get a chance to talk to Rita, I'll ask her if she has seen it.
What was it called again?
See Ya at Boots.
See You at Boots.
Boots was the name of the so-called club that we were drinking at.
Oh, okay.
When we got pulled over, because Daryl loved to give me a hard time about all my DWIs, because he would drink constantly and drive, but never ever get pulled over. But the minute I sucked on a beer, I got pulled over.
Oh.
That's why I was
never
only
good.
convicted of 2 of the 5 because I was not really intoxicated on all of them.
Well, that makes sense.
A glass of wine, a 12-ounce beer, or a 1-ounce shot of 80 proof
shot.
liquor, all the same alcohol content.
Get an education from the DWI.
That's right.
Well, and what's funny about
king.
this
What not to
is
do.
they make you go to alcohol education, right?
Right.
Well, then I became a bartender, and you have to get TABC certified. It is the same exact curriculum as the DWI curriculum.
Oh, wow. So you already had that Daryl would do when they were just for like friends and everything. He wasn't actually
It's stuff we did for fun.
for fun, just to
That's
show your
what
friends
we
and
did
everything. So.
for fun. I mean, we do music videos that people seen him doing Jack Russell and all that. There's other videos out that I'm trying to locate. Me lip syncing to "Smoking in the Boys' Room" by Motley Crue when I'm fat, got short hair because it was after DWI, so I had to cut my hair. I'm in spandex.
Oh, wow.
All right, Daryl lip syncing Motorhead. I think it's Ace of Spades. His mustache was made out of Scotch tape colored with the marxalite, black marxalite. He even made a mole. And this is at his mother's house. We'd just get drunk. This is what we did to have fun. And a lot of these were before Daryl and Vince even started drinking or partying. They would have nothing to do with anything, weed, booze, much less anything else. They ragged on me for years. Bale, you gonna die by the time you're 21, smoking, doping, drinking booze.
That's so ironic,
And,
right?
isn't
Because,
it-
a lot of
isn't it,
people
though?
probably don't know that these guys are like the kings of, Vinnie Paul with his Crown Royal pool,
Right. But see, what was funny, before all that, Vince and Daryl and I were friends before music ever came along. Even though music was always in our heart, it wasn't our life's passion at the time.
So it's like your first friend, right? Like Vinny was your first, and
yeah.
then Daryl, he was younger than you
And
guys.
Vincent and I went to school from kindergarten all the way through high school. We graduated together. In kindergarten through 6th grade, any class we had together, they put you in alphabetical order. So it was Abbott, Bell, Abbott, Bell. And also, when we lived on the south side of town, Vince and I lived just a couple blocks from each other. We'd hang out at the creek, crawdad fishing. I stole one of Vince's crawdads, and he dotted my eye. We became friends after that. Even though we already knew each other, we were friends, we were acquaintances, we hung out, but we became really good friends after that.
Sometimes it takes a fight to make
Right.
friends,
And
Made a bunch of friends that way.
it just that was my second family, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Carolyn was my second mother. And when we were younger, Carolyn and Jerry were still together. And I'd go over there. Jerry didn't get up till noon or 1 because he was a musician. He played gigs. He had the studio. And he'd get up at noon or 1. We'd walk in the house. He'd be sitting there in his underwear and his hairy-ass body and listening to music or talking on the phone.
Very
And, of
cool.
course, Vince and I were in the band in junior high school. And
Very
he
cool,
was
man.
originally going to be a tuba player, but his father was going to have none of that when he came home with the biggest tuba that they had
Right.
after us going to band camp and picking up our instruments.
And he nipped it in the bud real quick,
Yep.
didn't he?
The
Jerry
band
Jerry
Like
Abbott.
that.
The band director was living on the street, Miss Prentice. He called her up immediately once Vince walked in with the tuba and explained the story. Jerry called up Barbara Prentice. Barbara, this is Jerry Abbott. They knew each other because both being musicians. One's a teacher, one's a studio. But anyway, she goes, Vincent will be bringing the tuba back on Monday, and he will have a drum pad and drumsticks that is required by the school, and he will be playing drums.
So crazy.
And
At that
was
young
the end of
age,
that.
at that young age,
Seventh grade.
he kind of, that little twist of fate
He
changed
formed
heavy metal history. you
Right.
know? It's those
Yes,
little
sir.
things, all the puzzle pieces just falling into line. Like
Of course,
that.
Vince
So,
and Daryl could already play the piano some, and did other stuff. Well, because their dad, that's what he did. When they were hanging out with their dad at work or at home, he was picking on a guitar or listening to music. He turned us on to so much great music. I got tons of 45s.
Oh yeah, because you guys would get the demos. Being in the studio, you get these demos and hear the music before the radio
Or
got to
he
you,
would
you know?
make them. They would cut them there.
Oh,
And
wow,
I
you
was
did.
doing radio at one time, and he was hooking me up with singles to play that nobody had ever heard. Wow. From his studio. And, of course, I hung on to all that. Plus, Jerry cut a couple songs along with his sister, Carol. Back in the CB days, they did CB Romance. I got to find that so you can hear it. Oh, and speaking of videos that we made, you've got a copy, and I just need to get a copy from you,
Okay.
of us doing Cult of Personality.
Oh yeah,
at
the music
fair.
video. Yeah, yeah.
And Daryl and Vince tore that room up.
Wow, yeah.
And they kicked us out. They gave us the video and told us to get out. And if we ever came back, they were going to throw us in jail.
Yeah.
Have us arrested.
We'll show you guys someday. I don't know. Facebook will probably take it down because they use the real song. But,
Yeah,
you know,
but
we can at
it's a
least slide it
video.
in there, you know, real quick if you're watching live. But
we'll
you
have
guys
a
remember
watching party
it was the
somewhere.
state fair, right? So
Yes,
the
sir.
state
That's
fair.
something we used to do.
I know they do it at Six Flags too. You go and you pay like $30 and you shoot a little impromptu music video. They
This
got
was
all the
25
instruments.
years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
it-
whenever Cult of Personality came out, because it
was
was like
new
on the
at the
charts
time,
when we
huh?
did it.
Awesome. Well, we have a lot to get to tonight. So we got a lot of interviews with Stuart and got some Bell's footage. It's always iconic footage, you know. So we're going to get the ball rolling. And we usually do 7 to 9. But these guys are cool with running over if we have to. So we might just do a full 3 hours. But we'll see when we get there. So this next video is Randy's. And it was backstage. And we don't know when or where, but he'll tell
I'll
us
tell
when we
you
get back
afterwards,
after he
yeah.
sees it. So, Pam, if you would please.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank
and
you
being
for
with us
watching.
tonight.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Those Cowboys, bud. I got all y'all original requests.
It's drunk Grady. Shit. And the drunk.
What? Mike,
Oh
you
my
ready?
god.
You ready?
Hold on. Where you at?
Set the rest of his life. I'd rather you not. I'm just kidding. Phil would rather us not. Trying to get your fucking ass kicked. Pussy boy. Pussy boy. I bet I can kick Dave's ass. Dave?
I'm Phil. Not only am I a future rock star, but I'm also into Enterprise. The Enterprise, that is.
Yeah, Randy, how do I turn this off?
I go with my button again.
Which one? The back one?
Push it high.
Look out! Good night! Great, go! Oh, show me, baby! Yeah! Come on! Oh, man, it's tough, Show it, baby! 1, 2, 3, go! Cherries! Yeah! Spotlight! Spotlight!
I don't want to get this shit.
Spotlight it! Ow!
See if they'll do it anyway. Oh, yeah? There he goes. Oh! 1, 2. Ah! There it is, here it is.
Hey, gentlemen.
Howdy, fuckers, there we go. Where this pile of shit is.
Alright, I'll sit down.
Cool.
Hey, this ought to keep rocking back.
You know something? It's this style of rock that keeps the world rocking.
What a fucking flame.
Stick it up, check it out. You know what? See that right there? Oh shit, the whole wall fucking fuck up. It's got some kind of rubber background on it.
Dad, why are you doing that?
Run as a food. Fuck something up. Daryl, shut up. That's cool.
Look at this. My finger is falling fucking apart.
Come get a close-up on this. It's already broken.
I know there's a dowel right there.
Yeah, there's 2 dowels, fuck. Listen here. Yeah, it will get it. And it will cover it. Bell, get a close-up. I'm serious. No, not out of focus, man.
Call Dean Zelensky Monday and have him on custom.
Am I a cameraman or what?
No.
Video camera.
Dude, right here. Look.
That's fucked up.
Already broke it. See the crack all the way? The crack and the dowels coming through it. Walter Trashler took care of me at one point. See the neck on this? I've worn this down.
Hey, you know what?
I didn't do like Grady and put it on the sander and make it look like I played it for all
Hey,
while.
Mr. Hollywood. Who's texting?
And he's sorry.
Hey, you know what? Hey, my mom was a whore.
Okay, now apologize.
Get the fuck off of me.
Bring that camera.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a Dimebag Memorial Tribute show here, so we don't have to grieve in solitude anymore. We can hang out here with Dime's childhood friend, Randy Bell, who you guys just saw his footage up there. And shout out to Cleaver, Butch, Terry, and Beam Jones is watching, man. Love you guys.
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Mama Bray.
Mama
I love
Bray,
you.
yes. We'll be hearing from, I pulled a clip from whenever she was on the show quite a few months back. We'll be playing that here in a little while. We'll be hearing from Stuart Taylor. Interviewed him on Friday. He would have liked to have been here tonight, but he is out on his farm.
He don't give up the farm.
Taking Instagram pictures of his goats and shit. Hey, when you
Bag!
I'm Mag.
Which, if you guys didn't know, Dime used to have a goat.
Yeah.
He used to paint the beard of on a regular basis, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that Russell Eller
Yeah, Russell Eller of
getting him back. But I heard that story too. I cannot confirm. I never did see the goat with the beard.
But I think I've seen it. I mean, what? It
But
might have even been on
I'm
a
pretty
home
sure
video.
it happened.
There's a quiz that if you go online and just search for Dimebag Daryl trivias.
Right.
That's
well,
one
I've
of the
seen a
questions
couple
that I
of
find
those,
over
and
and
some
over.
of them
Crap.
are way out.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So-
of course, if it wasn't the early days, then
Yeah. So that footage we just watched was a compilation of different places.
different
So it
venues.
was,
Yes, sir. Dallas City Limits. Of course, anybody from here knows that was in Dallas. It's now the Lodge. It was a venue in Louisiana that was half titty bar and half rock venue. $1 Million Sandpiper.
yeah.
That was the name.
Yeah, you'll see more footage from that venue later on too.
And then
tonight.
also Metalworks, because you saw the Cat Daiquiri guys, Grady Champion, Ray Bow, Dave, and Mike Madison.
Right on. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
I was thinking too when you were talking during that video, kind of reminiscing and stuff. You said whenever he was fucking shit up, you know, Daryl sitting there breaking shit and kicking holes in it. You said
That wasn't local. Because he wouldn't tear up the local stuff. They only did that on the road. They tore up backstages in hotels in every place except for DFW.
You don't shit where
no,
you eat.
exactly.
Yeah.
No shit where you sleep, no shit where you eat, man. So
That's exactly.
so how did they get away with that? Like, I think people always wonder that at some point. It's like,
They
man, I
didn't
want
get
to do
away
that
with it. They
because
paid for it.
so that's it. You just
Yeah. If you tear shit up, they charge you for it, and then you move on. They replace it. That's what rock stars do. It's a tradition
it's
the
a rite of passage. Almost,
rite
isn't
of
it?
passage. Yes, and they're prepared to pay for it.
Well,
Plain and simple.
I think they set the stage for everyone else to try to do it now, because if you steal like a pillow or fuck something up, it's
Well,
$250.
Right.
The world has been pussified, so
Well, right, and you don't
can't
get
say
paid
nothing
the
about
same
that.
on your tours that you used to.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
that's-
that money isn't there anymore.
point.
Nothing is the same as it was.
Right.
It cannot be compared apples and oranges.
Yep.
But yeah, back then, and see, we had learned all this from watching our heroes as rock stars, who, of course, Vince, Daryl, and everybody got to meet. And I got to meet a lot of our heroes as well. And, you know, they were hanging out with them, but they were just doing what they had learned from their heroes and following in their footsteps.
Right.
But they were prepared to pay. They never argued. It wasn't, you know, like I said, it was a different time and place then. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
That just reminds me of that tour bus they found, or that camper they found. You had a T-shirt of.
Oh, everything's cool, but the burger's going to cost you $7.50.
They trashed the place and cleaned it up in the last minute, but they found a boogie somewhere in that fucking thing, and they charged them what, $750?
Over a booger.
7,500.
Oh my
was
God.
Everything, because the booger just put it over the top. Because evidently it was our gargantuan booger.
God
And
dang.
But who?
no,
I would have just gone and scraped
but
it
see,
off.
once
ate it,
again,
and
they
moved
were
on.
trying not to pay, but when they charged them, they really expected to pay, so they did. And yes, I still throw up every once in a while in my mouth when I see that shirt. And I even wear the shirt on occasion. You know?
That's a hilarious shirt, man.
Well, see, Daryl would make up shirts
For anything.
hockey jerseys.
Oh, yeah. With
You
the
know,
marijuana leaf
with the
on it?
leaf on it. You know, that's my favorite. I actually got two that year. Daryl gave me one and Vince gave me one. But I was dating Teresa Gray. Hi, Teresa. Guy Sykes' sister. Anyway.
Oh, hey. Did he give you the talk?
He gave me two. Oh, Guy was going, Bell, that's my sister.
You fuck with my sister.
You can't mess with my sister. I'm going, Guy, I know. Guy, I know. But anyway, we were together for many, many years.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, so Teresa has the other one. I hope you still have it. But yeah, so, you know, we got stuff that nobody else got. I got a box set of DVDs that I only think, you know, there's only a few. They did special things for their friends like that.
That's
Plain
awesome.
and simple.
Totally awesome, man.
Just like trying to buy gifts for them was hard, but every year I was always able to come up with something where they'd say, Bell, you thought on that. Thank you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
And
Originality goes a long way.
because,
Right.
well, I mean, what do you get somebody that has
Has
everything?
yeah.
So
An old Elvis concert ticket
I'm like,
that hadn't been ripped, you know. Something.
women and liquor, that always works.
liquor, beer, wine,
Right.
as Daryl and Vince would say. But yeah, I mean, they were real, genuine friends and people. They never did the rock star thing,
That's good.
except for they had the money to buy cool shit.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, let's keep the ball moving. Got a Stuart Taylor interview. I filmed him for like 2 hours, and it's gonna be cool when you hear this stuff, Randy, because you guys were friends.
We
You know,
share.
you were part of
We've
the.
been friends, still are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
We
all part of the
shared.
clan, so it's like
Stewart's
you'll
one.
be able to confirm.
Yes,
and
Stewart is
verify
an
his
amazing
stories.
individual, and he was around just like me back in the early days, and we're still hanging out. In fact, I used to chase Stewart around with hairspray and a lighter. He was scared as shit as that. And I was mean and ornery. I shouldn't have done it, but anyway, I'd get drunk and chase him around, and he's really worried about me catching his hair on fire.
Well, I mean, it was always the thing to be
But
throwing
I mean,
firecrackers
hairspray
at
was
each
there.
other.
Lighters were there because you could smoke indoors then.
Yeah.
Weed and cigarettes.
So this is about, you know, these clips are probably around 8 to 10 minutes long, but it's Stuart. You don't even pay attention to the clock. It just comes and goes like that because the way Stuart tells a story is unlike anyone
Any
I've ever
other.
seen. He's very animated, and he draws you into the story where, you know,
Right.
it's a hell of a picture. So
Right?
yeah.
Plus, it's brand new insight on a band that you guys all know and love, so it's some stuff that you may or may not have ever heard.
Exactly. So
Right?
right.
That's Stewart's thing, right?
I mean, No, well, I don't want to disparage anybody, but it was late at night, you know, and like I was getting ready to go to bed, and it was Brian Niebuhr, PDR, paintless dent repair, right? And he called me. He goes, "Hey man,
Why? What's going on?
The video is lagging, so let me shut down cam choice.
Okay. Are we back?
Yeah.
All right, we're back, everybody. Sorry, we're having problems with the video player. Pam's going to shut down and reboot it. So,
in the meantime, I'll do the robot for you.
Or do the, what was that floss you said?
Oh, yeah, the floss. I've been wanting to try that. Yeah.
I know.
Sorry.
So,
What sucks is this dude could beat me in a dance off. I'm like, fuck. I was talking about that earlier. Show me one more time. How'd that go?
Something like this.
That's perfect.
Oh, hey now.
I'm jealous.
Hey, but see, we're going to
all you women out there, he's single.
Right, hey.
And ready to mingle. So, thank you guys for tuning in tonight, man. It's very... All right, Pam's going to try it again, so we'll see if this works.
If not, we'll see you shortly.
When I moved to Texas in 1980, I went to Bowie High School, the original Bowie High School, and that's where I met Daryl at. And I didn't know him, and he didn't know me, but I guess people had told him, like, you know, because I was that nerdy guy walking around with my photo album all the time, and people had said, hey, that guy right there, he's a picture-taking motherfucker, right? And people told me, they said, hey, that little skinny kid over there, he's a guitar-playing motherfucker. And so when I'd see him in the hall at school, he would do this shit. He would go, hey, like Fonzie, you know? And I didn't really know the motherfucker, you know, and so I would just go, hey, you know? That was when I met the motherfucker, you know, and, you know, Rex went to school there, you know, we all went to school there, and then it changed, and, you know, they went to Arlington High, and I had to move to Grand Prairie, but whatever, you know, but I knew Pantera was badass, and Daryl was a shining star, you know, even when he was a little fucking kid, and, you know, and in the early days, you didn't really know, but you thought, you know, I always thought for sure that this motherfucker, man, he's going to be like Ozzy's guitar player or some shit, right, because he was a bad motherfucker, but, you know, Pantera, I mean, they were a badass band, and, you know, they really was better, like Projects in the Jungle, I Am the Night, to me, was one of the greatest fucking records ever, you know, and whatever. That's basically where it started. But I started going to shows and taking pictures of them at Graham Central Station and this big wheel skating rink. And I remember the time, like, it was embarrassing because Daryl, you know, they had a picnic bench, like the part you sit on, you know, but it was turned sideways. That was like the little barrier, right? And fucking Daryl, he went to jump over that motherfucker and tripped and fell and hit the ground, you know. I felt so bad for him, you know. Whatever. I'll never forget that shit, man. But, I mean, that's where I met the kid, was at Bowie High School in 1980, and we just, you know.
You started hanging out and stuff from there? Yeah,
going to shows and stuff like that. I mean, I can tell you, like, they played, like, 18 and under night at Grand Central Station. It's like, they don't use that anymore, right? It says Escapades or something. It's been Mexican bars and all kinds of shit, you know. But when Pantera played there, you had to be 18 and under. And so we go there that one night, and we're out in the parking lot, and fucking Jerry was there, and we're fucking puffing down on a fucking marijuana cigarette. And the fucking, you know, we're just standing around outside. All of a sudden, a cop shows up. It's like, holy shit, motherfucker. And so he goes, hey. And so I think he made Jerry just smash it down on the ground, right? And he goes, all right, everybody get in, you get out of here. And it was me, right? And I said, hey, motherfucker, shit, bitch. You know, because Jerry's fucking 2 years older than me, but, you know, I probably look like a piece of shit, you know, because my hair used to be way longer, you know. And so I started hitchhiking, right? So I hitchhiked, and I barely even knew where I lived, you know. And so I got a ride from Graham's, where, you know, where that's like Colorado and California. And they dropped me off up there on the highway. And so then I got on the fucking highway. So I'm just walking down I-20, which I would never do in this day and age because people would run your ass over. But I did. I hitchhiked, like, and motherfuckers would pull up. And I'd get up there by them. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, because they probably thought I was like a bitch walking down the road. And when they saw us, they did, whoa, whoa. I walked that whole way, dude, all the way to fucking Carrier Parkway. I don't know what time I got home. Fucking 5:30 in the morning. It was fucking brutal, dude. I walked nobody gonna pick my ass up from that fucking gig. certain shows stand out, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when they played at the Longhorn Ballroom. It was like a Halloween. They had their faces all painted, and I remember Daryl was changing into his little gold pants, and I got a picture of him in his underwear. I said, man, this picture's gonna be worth $1 million one day. I got a picture of Daryl with his underwear, you know. And you remember because their dad always had to be there, you know, because these are bars, you know. But like I got pictures of Daryl with his ding dong hanging out. They're fucking hilarious, you know. One of these days, you know, I would black it out, you know. Whatever, but his facial expressions are always hilarious, you know, whenever he broke his tool out. So whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get people in trouble. I mean, you can talk about this, but we know that story.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that story. That's the most famous gig probably ever in, you know, DFW music history is when, you know, Lars and James Hetfield played with Pantera at Savvy's, you know. But I mean, you know, that's Terry, the original singer. But that was the baddest gig. You know, there was probably like 30 fucking people there. You know, Pantera wasn't even playing. You know, they just got up there and used like Savvy, that band Savvy. They just used their equipment. But Daryl did bring his little Dean, you know, guitar with him or whatever. And I remember how excited he was because I had been banned from the club already and whatever. That's a long ass story, dude. I think I've told it to you before, right? And so I don't want to bore motherfuckers, but I mean, that was in Hit Parader over there, but that was after Daryl had been killed, you know, and so, I mean, that was just, I mean, you know, like when I was a kid, it was to me, like, you know, I used to read those little photo credits on those pictures, you know, and then, you know, years later, all of a sudden, you know, it's you in those magazines, so it was pretty cool, you know, because it wasn't like, I just took pictures of Pantera or whatever. I was taking pictures of fucking every fucking thing I could, you know, and every band and sneaking into concerts and fighting my way to the front row, Reunion Arena and all that shit, you know, but, you know, all the local Gamma Sides and Hammer Witches and Warlocks and, you know, and Arcanes and all those other bands from around here, you know, I did all their group photos and stuff like that, so.
Cliff notes. All right, sorry about that video, you guys. It's kind of choppy. You know, we did the test and everything, and it works. But you know, once you go live, it's gonna fuck up. So
part of being live.
Yeah, the audio was straight, so we decided to let it roll. Hopefully, the other videos will be fine.
Hopefully, you guys learned something interesting.
Yeah, we're just hanging out here. You know, instead of me sitting back there in the back room jamming Pantera songs and drinking myself into a coma, you know, we have our buddies. We can go live and we can hang out with you guys and drink ourselves into a coma together.
All right, so, share it as one.
So, do you remember where you were when you found out?
I absolutely remember where I was.
It was 15 years ago tonight.
Uh-huh. I was at Nokia. I had just watched Marilyn Manson play.
Wow.
And I walked out. I came out of that mosh pit in a daze and walked outside, and there was a girl standing outside by herself crying her eyes out.
Wow.
And as soon as I walked out, she turned and looked at me and grabbed me and said, Dimebag's just been killed. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot. Social media is full of shit. I was like, you're a fucking retard.
There was no social media back then, though. 2004, man.
Well, there was enough of it. Yeah, there was. It was MySpace. So, I mean, it really was. And and that's where she had heard it or whatever. So I went and I got on, I went and got in the car. And when we left, it was on the Eagle. And,
wow.
It blew my mind. I was like, oh my God. First of all, I was a dick to this girl. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and second of all, it just blew my mind. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow. So I think we're all remembering tonight. So at least we're all here together and hanging out and stuff. So, well, let's hear some tunes, man. Let's hear some Pussy Tight live. Compliment the Grandy.
Diamond Daryl is gonna sing you a love song. Sing this one out to Ballroom Dale, the beer drinking bastard. Hey man, by the way, you know what? This song is the perfect song for the $1 million rock and roll titty bar saloon. Yeah! You know why? Because it doesn't just have heavy metal rock and roll with it. It's got something that it's got along with it, man. Next door we got pussy. Yeah! And if you're a rock and roller, man, you can't do without pussy. Am I right? You Except Rob Halford, he gets a break, okay? This one is going out to the Triple X Maniacs. Anyone out there with the Triple X? What was that? Was that a fucking A? Come on, I want to feel the power. Yeah. Wow. Pussy tight.
Alright, welcome back everybody. Looks like the video is trying to get a little bit better, so hopefully we'll have better luck coming up. So thanks for sticking it out with us, man.
Agreed.
What's up, Liz? I see the night won't be complete without someone throwing a firecracker at somebody.
Like, right. Man. That's right.
Unfortunately, we don't have any, right? Like, we're posers now. I left we had a whole box of, like, those illegal bottle rockets and shit, but we left them outside and they got rained on.
I was about to say I got a whole trunk full, and then I realized I'm in her car, so fuck.
Do you just roll with that shit?
Dude, I have had firecrackers, a trunk full of firecrackers for, like, 2 years.
Oh, wow.
In my car.
You get pulled over in Tarrant County with that shit.
Right. You know, I'm just waiting for Texas to take over.
Hell yeah. So, Randy, what were you saying during that video? First of all, he started the video and dedicated it to you, that song.
Yeah, Barroom Bell, the beer-drinking bastard.
Where'd that come from?
Well, we were on his ass to write a song. And we got him to do the song, and so he sent that out to me quite regularly. But also, we were always drinking booze, video and stuff. And so he would set things up that we could use in movies that we were doing, this, that, or the other. You helped me edit a lot of this stuff, so you saw in this video, because this was at the Louisiana place, the $1 Million Sandpiper, the titty bar deal. But in there, we're filming a video for future. But if you'll notice, he says, Bell, Bell, which we're putting together. You'll see this in the videos we're working on to get together. Where all night, he just out of nowhere, he'll say, Bell, Bell, just while the camera's on him. And I've got a lot of that stuff on my answering machine as well, tapes that you have that we're running down.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just, I mean, that was just something that we did. And, of course, we were buddies, so he sent songs out to me all the time. And y'all know I got up and sang with him.
Uh-huh.
You know, it started with when Glaze was in the band. I'd get up and sing Smoking in the Boys' Room. Whenever they do that, Dusty Wheels would get up and sing Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? Everybody had their little song.
Nice.
Because they, you know, back then, you took care of your friends. Just like the bands were in the Friends, you came to the beginning of the show and you stayed till the end of the show. You watched all the bands, you hung out, you were friends. And then afterwards, you went to after parties with your friends and different place and time once again.
Right.
Unfortunately, I'm blessed to have been born when I was, is all I can say.
And it seems like there was a lot more like metal venues back then, too.
Oh, well, the rock and roll scene was alive and well. Yes, the guys made a very good living before they signed.
Yeah.
Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. There was a circuit of clubs.
Yeah. So now
Waco.
I'm just curious. You said that, you know, he would give you grief, like you're going to die before you're 21, drinking and boozing and smoking. When did he start drinking? Like, were you with him the first time he got drunk?
No. Just like I wasn't with him the first time he got high because he was hiding it from me. Just like the drinking, too,
like
because he'd been...
Huh?
Right. So check this out. You know, we just lived a couple blocks around from each other.
Right.
And that's back when he had just got his license. He had his Firebird.
That white one?
Yellow.
Oh, yellow. Okay.
Yeah, yellow Firebird. And it's still there. And he got that from our friend John Payne, who lived a couple doors down. But anyway, Daryl would always stop by the house. And a couple times he drove by and hauled ass by me and wouldn't stop. So I said, what in the heck's going on, man? So one day I was sitting in my car waiting for him to come down the street because he'd come down about the same time every day after he got out of school and stuff. And, you know, we usually catch up, but he hadn't been stopping. So I was in my car and I saw him coming down the road and I backed out on my driveway and blocked the whole road. And so he had no choice but to stop.
Right.
And I run over there, and what's he doing? He's smoking weed.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, you motherfucker, you. And I said, I'm going to pull my car in. Don't you go nowhere. I pulled my car in. I got in his Firebird, and we got high for the first time.
All right, puff, give, motherfucker. You can't drive by.
And so he didn't hide it from me, you know, after that. And then, you know, of course, I found out about drinking because he'd get stoned, get cotton mouth, and want to drink a beer.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, after you caught him drinking, it was open season, right? Like,
oh yeah. And after that,
know.
dude, he didn't say nothing to me. That's when he just started going with the, all right, kick those green teeth right in the knee, you know, stuff like that. Nice. But anyway, just, you know, we were just kids growing up. It had nothing to do with being rock stars or nothing. That was just our daily lives, you know.
Yeah.
That's what people, you know, people say, what was it like? I said, well, you know, I wasn't thinking it was anything special. I was just having a good life with good friends.
Right.
Know? Didn't know they were going to be rock stars.
Wow.
You know, and of course I was in the band, but I had quit because I didn't want to spend all the time in practice. Plus, I couldn't drink and smoke weed if I was in the band.
Right.
And so I was already, that was my second family, you know. I mean, we were friends whether I was in the band or not, and I still got to enjoy all the good stuff, you know.
Right.
Because they would never leave me out of nothing. I was Santa Claus at their house for decades, you know. It's just happened to be my life.
It's amazing.
That's
life,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm blessed beyond belief is all I can say.
As are we. It's a blessing to have you here. And all you guys watching, it's a blessing
to be
all my
here.
friends. You know, we've met so many people because of this tragedy, and it really is a blessing in disguise. You know, we make the best out of this horrible situation.
Yes, and can I say my My thoughts and prayers are with Mama Bray. I love you. Eric's family. Mayhem's family. Just everybody that was involved. I'm sorry for your loss, and I feel it with you. I love you all. Sorry. Now back to the good times.
Don't worry.
Be good, man.
Cool. Well, let's get a video of Stuart trying to blow through these videos. As time.
Well, we got time, Corey.
Yeah, we do. Even though we're already about an hour in. Wow, just like that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be that way.
But hell, I'm here as long as you need me, brother.
Awesome. Thank you. Love you, man. Yeah, Pam. So you know which one?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't want to disparage anybody, but it was late at night, and like I was getting ready to go to bed, and it was Brian Niebuhr, PDR, paintless dent repair, right? And he called me, goes, "Hey man, the fucking singer of Pantera got killed, right?" And mind you, I hadn't seen Phil, because that band, because Rex was already doing stuff with Phil with the Down and all that, and I didn't reconnect with Phil and Rex till like, I don't know, 2014 or something, up in Indiana that time, which was really a cool thing that happened there. And and I hadn't talked to Phil in all these years, that dude, whatever. So in my mind, because I love Phil, and I love Rex, so I don't want to, but my mind thought set back then was, the guy said, "Hey, the singer of Pantera got killed." I'm thinking, you know what? I hadn't seen this dude in fucking 1,000 years. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to bed, and I hope I don't get in any trouble for that. But whatever, because I talked to Phil, and Phil, whatever. He's fucking always super fucking cool to me, and same with Rex. Rex too. I just texted with him the other night. If I text Rex, he'll text me right back. I love Rex Rocker, or Rex Brown, excuse me. And so I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go to bed, right? And then the phone started ringing. I don't know who it was, but the phone started ringing, and it wasn't. It was, they were saying, no, it's fucking Daryl, And so, I mean, you were up all night on the phone, crying and drink. It was horrible, dude. I don't really want to get too much into it or whatever, really, I don't want to fucking start crying or anything, but it was a shocking thing of a lifetime, I love my mom, and she died, and I cried or whatever, but Daryl was something special. That dude was, to me, he was, because he knew me when I was homeless, I had nowhere to fucking go. The motherfucker, he always fucking helped me out. At Christmas, when he would get clothes, he would give me clothes to wear and shit. I lived with them over there at their mom's house, and I mean, Daryl did a bunch of shit for me throughout my life. So whatever, my mind is probably wandering right now, but yeah, it took fucking forever, really. It was crazy. I can remember one time I was going to the farm with my buddy, and he fucking tries to play Pantera, I'm over there fucking crying like a motherfucker. I said, "Hey, dude, I'll tell you, I went to a fucking Stars game the other night, and I ain't never been to that shit before. And like, I don't want to cry on you or whatever, but they play that little song that, Daryl and Vince had done, and they played it, and I was crying. I said, oh shit, this is gonna fuck me up, right? And I thought, there's 50,000 or 20,000, how many motherfuckers are in this fucking place, right? And and I'm thinking, I'm probably the only motherfucker in here crying. After this, whenever they score a goal, they play this fucking song, right? And so I thought, oh shit, man, to clean my act up, And then like the band fucking scores again, or the hockey team. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, man. I said, if these motherfuckers score one more fucking goal, dude, I'm fucking out of here, because there's certain things that'll evoke, certain emotions. And I know how much, Pantera and Daryl Vince and, it just, because I said, I'm the only motherfucker in here crying, all these people, don't put me on camera, motherfuckers, because they film me all around there. Why is that old guy crying over there? Fuck you, because I'm probably the only motherfucker in here that actually knew those dudes. So, But whatever. It took a while. I mean, it's still, you know, it's sad. You think about it, you know, because in my life, if you look around, there's not a day in my life that, you know, I don't think about him, you know. And if you go to my shop or even at my farm, I got, you know, posters and shit, you know. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, yeah, Daryl, he was a giant part of my life, and you know, and he still is to this day, you know. And I'm always forever thankful, you know. Like I said, we had, you know, but have a 24-year relationship with anybody, and you're going to be doing some of this shit, you know. It's not going to be, you know. So whatever, you know.
Thank you for sharing that.
It is what it is.
I never heard that either.
Really, because I don't want to repeat myself to you, because I've told you a bunch of stuff too, and
yeah.
So whatever.
It's okay though. I mean, even if I have duplicate stories, they're consistent, so I know you're not.
Oh yeah,
making up details.
Yeah.
You're not full of shit, man. You're telling it.
No, you can't make this
You're
stupid
getting the
shit
truth
up
every time. So
yeah. No, why? You know, why lie when the truth sounds better? Is what I always say.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason to embellish on something, you know, that actually happened or whatever. You know, and like I said, you know, I mean, you know, I got the first ever Pantera tattoo. I got the tattoo that Daryl bought me when he got his Cowboys from Hell deal, and
you want to show him?
And that was the deal when, you know, because Pantera was so badass. Like I Am the Night, like, you know, Heavy Metal Rules, fucking Projects in the Jungle. That was a great fucking album, their second album, right? And then fucking when I Am the Night came out, I mean, that record was fucking fantabulous, right? You know, whatever, I don't give a fuck, because I grew up on Van Halen and all that bullshit too. And Pantera was just badass, you know? And so, and I remember, because like I didn't have a penny or a pot to piss in or whatever, but I remember I had $40, man, and I went and tattooed that little panther head. That was their original logo, was that thing. You know, Vince used to have it on his drums and all that, you know? And so, I added that fire later and the scene dominator later on, but that's the first ever Pantera tattoo anybody ever got. They've never used it on any of their home videos, and they show all those videos and shit, but this is the first motherfucker ever. That was 1985. You know, and they probably thought this motherfucker's crazy, right? And I didn't have no money back then. I don't know, I probably was homeless back then too, but I got me a $40 fucking, over there at Papa San's where Randy Adams used to work, right? Right over there off Abrams and Stadium. You know, there's that little house where they used to tattoo in over there. And so when Daryl got his big record contract, and there was a battle going on, there was always battles going on because everybody hated Pantera, right? You know, all these other bands, because Pantera was so badass, right? Like when Pantera, like, because Pantera, they'd be playing Dawkins and fucking Rat and all this shit and Loudness and, you know, and Judas Priest shit. But Pantera so badass, they sounded as good, if not better, than the band themselves, you know? And, you know, these other bands are, you know, doing what they can. And so, you know, so there's this war going on, right? Besides all the other wars, you know, about the, you know, Pantera being so badass. And so when Daryl got that big record contract, and I was living at the Gamma Shack, right? And so Daryl goes, hey man, you want to get a fucking tattoo? You know me, man, I'm all down with some fucking free ink, you know? I'm all about some fucking tattoos. So he goes, you better fucking be ready, motherfucker. You got to be fucking ready. You know, so I went outside and I just stood on the porch, and he had a van back then. He fucking pulled in that van, I jumped in that van, we drove over there to Papa San's, and, you know, Randy Adams worked over there, and got my fucking, whatever, my Cowboys from Hell tattoo. It's just, you can tell it's the same shit. Like if you look on his arms, it's the same motherfucker. I added that barbed wire and shit later on, but that was the tattoo that Daryl got me when he got his big record contract. So all that bullshit to get to that fucking story. That's how it goes, dude. Because there's more shit that goes on. You know, you can't just tell a motherfucker a story, you know, because there was all kinds of other shit going on at the same time, you know. And it's kind of sad, you know, because people were younger and maybe immature or whatever, you know. I mean, Gamma Side, they put out that badass record, you know, on Victims of Science, on Wild Rag Records and all that. That was the first album cover I ever got to do, and we did it over there off 820. The cops show up, whatever. I mean, I can tell you stories for days, so.
All right. We were just watching that, and Randy was commenting.
Stuart rules.
and you can totally relate with him.
Yes,
you
sir,
know.
because I was there.
Yeah, as far as telling stories, though, how
Yes, sir.
You can't really get to the point without
Going
all
through
these
the
other-
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Real quick, Stuart's back with Scunch and doing his thing too. So
Yeah.
Well, they're looking for a new singer.
I think
Or
they
did that
got
guy
one.
stay?
They got one. So
Oh, okay, cool.
when
They're
they
working on
get
things,
more
so.
established, he'll be back on the show.
So if you know who they are, Scunch, check them out.
Cool.
Yeah, and Stuart Taylor Photography. If you want to go and check out some of his old photos, man. I mean, he's sitting on a bank of photos that have never been used before. So, you know, he's afraid to put them out because
People steal them.
they steal them, and then before you know it, they're, you know, once it's on the internet once, it's everywhere. So,
Right.
you know, he wants to be really careful and do it right, you know.
And also, if you need signs, stickers, or all kinds of stuff, he's got, you know, Apex Signs, and he's been doing it for years. He knows what he's doing. In fact, I found my huge banner. I don't know if I told you. When I graduated broadcasting school, the guys threw me a big party at Joe's garage. Well, the night I graduated, I normally go and hang out with the buddies that I went to school with, but Daryl says, no, you have to show up at Joe's garage. And I showed up, and they've got this 30-foot banner hanging above the stage that says, congratulations, Randy Bell, Elkins Institute Broadcasting School graduate.
Oh, wow.
And Stewart had made that sign.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
And it's when he had first got into the business. But yeah, I found the sign. Of course, I go in, they pull me up like always, you know. And of course, I did songs with them. I was doing Popular in high school with them at that time.
The song Popular.
And of course, I did that plus a couple extras, I think, that day, plus doing shots. And they never, ever, if you made an achievement, they were there to back you. They supported you the whole time while you were working for it. Like I said, it was a family.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything to do with music. It was just supporting a family, plain and simple.
I mean, you all went to the same school, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, we grew up together. We were just like you grew up with your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
You grew up with your friends.
It was
the
all
same
just
thing.
organic. You got to see it all happen in real time, you know.
Exactly. There was just I can't explain it. It's just natural, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Stuart, get down, Beam says. So we'll be getting to that video here in a little bit. If you guys didn't know, Stuart was the guy that had the boil lanced on his ass or whatever.
In one of the videos, yeah. That's one of the few that I didn't take, yeah.
So we talked about that also over the weekend, and he gives us some behind-the-scenes details.
Behind the scenes. Was that a pun?
Behind the scenes.
I remember watching that with my friends in Michigan. I became a Pantera fan long before I moved to Texas. My family bounced back and forth my whole life between Texas and Colorado, and then between Texas and everywhere else because my mom's family's in Texas. So, but I became a Pantera fan elsewhere. My Pantera tattoos are from when I lived in Michigan, not from when I lived here.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of an outsider that came into loving them on a personal basis once I got here. But anyway, the whole situation was just a little bit different for me. The allure of Pantera throughout the United States, it became such an infectious thing back then. And what's interesting to me is that Dime, and I'm not really trying to go any further than this. It's just that Dime had this allure through the videos, the Pantera home videos, 1, 2, and 3. He had such an allure with people that people felt like they knew him.
See, man, dude, you're putting goosebumps on me.
You know what I mean?
And because, yes, there was something about Daryl that was unique and
infectious.
And there were, gosh, I'm a chill head to toe. But a lot of people that didn't even know of Pantera, when they saw the home videos, then they would go listen to the music, right, and then they would become a fan. But see, that's what me and Daryl started out. That was our passion, making videos. lip syncing to our heroes, making parody commercials. You know, we were doing all this stuff. It's all popular now. We were doing it, and basically, I think Daryl made up some of this stuff and created it. And we did videos with 2 VCRs,
Right.
editing, but that's just what we did for fun. We weren't trying to accomplish anything except for having a good time. And you nailed it. And I've heard this so many times in my life, and I got to experience. When you met Daryl, you felt like you knew him automatically, and that's because he was not fake. He laid everything out on the table the minute he met you. He would invite you to a party.
That's exactly
the minute
what he
he
did
met
the
you.
first time I met
You
him.
could dick him around after he invited you to that party. He's going to tell you, if you do that again, you ain't going to come. I'll give you another chance. No people that had his status do that, that I know of. Okay?
He showed up the way I met him personally after being a huge fan from Michigan. Moved down here and I got into a band. And long story short,
he shows up
at my gig and he's headbanging in the back. And I walked up to him afterwards and I was like, I'd be an idiot if I don't hand you a CD. And I hand him a CD and he goes, why don't you come to the clubhouse? We'll pay for your drinks and so forth. I wound up actually taking care of my drunk girlfriend outside that day as they all took my whole band out besides me, which was obviously very cool of them, amazingly. But I didn't get to go that day because of that. And I didn't have to worry about the second status. The one other time I ever ran into him, it was all, huge hugs and, hey, you still doing your band? And I said, sure am. And he's like, you guys kick ass.
He didn't forget where he came from, and he didn't forget people.
He knows what it's like to be local. Yeah, for sure.
Vincent was the same way. In fact, when Daryl died, Vincent tried hard to keep the rock and roll scene alive, but it's not the same anymore. Right. People go and play video games now and do this and that. Vinny, he went out and saw bands and drank and visited with the people. He wasn't always like that, but he learned from Daryl. And I think especially after Daryl was taken from us, he learned even more. And that really broke Vincent's heart.
Right.
Yeah. That the scene wasn't the same. You didn't hang out and you didn't support bands. And
Daryl's was an amazing person all the way around. His memory shocked me. The way that he would remember people that he respected. Because he was so huge. So I meet him. He's in Pantera. Like I said, he had come to the show. Years and years and years later, I'm standing at a Damage Plan show. It's Damage Plan and Shadows Fall at the Ridgely Theater. And he's in Damage Plan, and he's having his dude run around and pour shots in everybody's front. And he looks over at me, and I'm just off on the right wing, and I haven't seen him since he was in Pantera. Years and years and years. Only met me once. And I guess twice. And I just kind of tilted my shot glass, and he goes, that motherfucker, that's a badass singer. Go give him a shot. Blew my mind. Mm-hmm. And it's really a testament to who he is as a person, because, like you said, the fame never took him anywhere else.
He remembered people, too. And we would play, I played the first, when Gary Moore's Still Got the Blues came out, we were on the way to the state fair, a regular ritual of ours. I played Still Got the Blues for him. We listened to that whole cassette.
Right on.
There and back. We went to his house. We hung out for a little bit. I went home. He called me 8 or 9 in the morning. Bell, come over. Went over there. He had heard Still Got the Blues one full time and maybe a partial of another. He had played that whole song and had it recorded.
Just like that.
And it sounded just like Gary. You couldn't tell the difference, really.
Wow.
And I mean, but his memory was fantastic, and it covered everything, not just music, but friends, people that he met, and it was just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Pam, can you get Popular ready while Randy breaks it down?
Well, I ain't no fool.
He's famous for his tool, in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, hammers, screwdrivers. No, me and my brother, Bigfoot Wallace Wass. God rest his soul. He's passed on. Me and him used to write songs. And my brother his name was Gray Curb. He was a guitar player. And we used to write songs. And we wrote this one song called Popular in High School. And it was about a friend of his named Marvin Hoodwink, who was one of the... I mean, I ain't no good-looking guy, but this dude was not attractive in any way, shape, or form, all right? But he always talked about how much pussy he got and how big his dick was, all right? Well, I'm sorry. I grew up in an era where if you bragged about something, you showed it and proved it. All right. Well, we kept saying, "Bust this motherfucker out. Let's see this tool that you're famous for." And said, Phil, he came in the band. He plopped his out and showed everybody after talking about it, and everybody else has talked about having a big pecker has busted it out. You're the only one that hadn't, bro. Well, he never would, and then he disappeared, and we never saw him again. And my brother had known him forever.
Please tell me "Never Would" became his nickname.
But, well, we never saw him again, so I guess it could be. But anyway, so Gray had told me this story many times, and we had tried to get him to show us our dick. We're not gay. We just wanted to see what he was talking about.
No homo.
And, and nothing wrong with being gay. Don't get offended.
Right.
So we sat down and we penned this song. And I called Daryl up and I said, because anytime I wanted to do a song, I just called Daryl up and said, "Man, let's cut a song." Because me and Daryl would write them and do them. And then I do them with other friends.
And
but
just
anyway,
like that, huh?
And just like that, we went over to Daryl's mom's. He's got the studio in the garage. That's where we hang out anyway. And we did Popular in High School. And Daryl, of course, produced it. I sang. My brother played guitar. Daryl did all the other instruments, drums, bass, and production, all that good stuff. But we get it together, and the band that me and my brother were going by at the time, we called the Danged Idiots, which if you're familiar with Yosemite Sam, he'd go, "Ooh, you danged idiots." All right, so we took that. I was Possum Head Maurice. My brother was Bigfoot Wallace. Well, as we're producing, doing the song, it comes up for Gray's solo, Bigfoot Wallace. So I'll say Bigfoot Wallace. Well, Daryl hits the button and it puts an echo on it. And it says Bigfoot Wallace, Wallace, Wallace. Well, automatically that becomes his name. Daryl says, "Okay, you're Bigfoot Wallace, Wallace, Wallace." So we put the song together. Everybody hears it and just goes nuts. They're thinking it's Motorhead at first. Going, "Man, that sounds just like Lemmy." I'm going, "Nope, it's just me." In fact, I'm still trying to find the original 4-track version. But anyway, turns out everybody loves this song. It spreads like wildfire. I do it at every Pantera gig, plain and simple. I go up on stage, Philip rips my shirt off, pulls my britches down to where my pubes are exposed, and I was about 100 pounds heavier than I am now. So it wasn't really that attractive. You can see it on YouTube. You'll see it here in a little bit on another version. Oh, James Rockmore, who got a lot of this stuff. But anyway, it just became a deal, and it was a hidden track on the Cowboys from Hell album until the record company found out. And they said, "No, this is your first album. There ain't no hidden tracks. We need more money from you." But anyway, Terry Date, who produced the album and produced many others, he was there and helped out. We still talk on occasions, and I call him Rope King and all that good stuff. But it was a godsend. It was just so much fun. I got to cut it during Cowboys from Hell like 3 or 4 times.
Right on. And this version is actually Pantera playing it.
Yes.
And you're the vocals,
well,
so
most versions you hear are going to be Pantera playing. I cannot find the original with my brother. I'm looking, and because it sounds completely different than it does when I got it in the studio. I mean, it's the same song, but it's, come on, when you go from me and my brother in the studio with just Daryl to the band Pantera.
Yeah.
Right. There's a difference. And it's just, and of course, I was just having fun. Nobody was allowed to smoke cigarettes in the studio except for me. Just like in Daryl's house, nobody was allowed to smoke cigarettes except for me and his mother. And he encouraged me to smoke while recording because he thought it made my voice sound right.
Interesting.
So you'll see me smoking joints and drinking beer, and of course Phil had my shit pulled down to where my dick was almost showing, you know. But it was just, it's all natural, it's all organic. We were just having fun, plain and simple.
Well, let's check it out.
Once again, blessed.
Popular in high school, everybody.
Famous for Marvel.
Could you please flash some mashed potatoes?
He goes, Bill, get your balls out on that.
Get your balls out. Yeah, did you see that stripper pick up that dollar bill? Like, that's somebody's grandma now, you know?
Get darn right.
Hey, grandma's making money. That's how she did it, huh?
Right.
Will you please flash some mashed taters?
That's right. That was in the Bahamas.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And that's the new tagline, not get you a pull. It's, will you please flash some mashed taters?
Dude, I would love to have been a fly on that wall. Looked like you guys were just having a fucking blast.
Right.
All the time.
That's it. And that's all it was about. Daryl didn't want to do anything that wasn't fun. That's all there is to it.
Hell yeah. I wish that would have stayed a hidden track, too. That would have been badass.
Yeah, I think so, too. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll check out Mama Bray's video. Pam, if you want to cue it. Mama Bray, Susan Bray, she's commenting right now. So we love you, Susan.
Love you, love you, love you.
Our hearts are with you today, for sure. So we had the honor of having her. She comes down for my birthday, which it just makes my birthday, man. Last year, you were up there as Belvis, which, you know, had the glasses, them glasses that you saw Randy wearing in there. Dime gave him. And
it's hard to see that it's Randy. So the Elvis guy with the glasses.
Belvis.
Randy.
Yeah, Belvis. That's
Belvis.
right. So.
No beard.
And after all the years, Daryl never came up with that name. Corey did. I can't believe that Daryl did it. But that just shows how you're connected with my brother, because that was his thing, was nicknaming.
I think him, like everybody else out there, is heavily influenced by Daryl, you know, ever since I was 14. You know, so it's hard not to pick up on, you know, to even want to do stuff like that, come up with it, you know, because the home videos was like my Bible, you know, and it attributed to my drinking through my 20s for sure. Like all the time. We've had some hellacious parties here. A lot of you guys know you've been here. So, yeah, man. Heavily influenced by Daryl. You know, Jimmy Page is why I picked up guitar, and Daryl's the reason I played metal. So, but yeah, we had Susan on partying with us. She comes down for the birthdays and our PGA events that we have every year around Daryl's birthday, and that's when you performed as Belvis, and K-Nuts performed, and Van Halen, Eric Knudsen, EKG. I'm sorry.
Well, K-Nuts is the shit,
K-Nuts
especially
works.
if you see the photo.
Yeah, that name came from a place too.
Nicknames are there for a reason.
Yeah. We can't show that photo though.
We'll get the photo one day and show it.
I had to censor it, like 90% of it.
It's at, but yeah, it was taken at the tattoo bar, just so everybody knows.
But always a good time. So
I'm in the dark on that one too.
Everybody's in the dark except for a few.
It's all right.
It's all good.
But you know, we love Mama Bray. Hey, Stuart's on, man. Hey, what's up, Stuart?
Hey, man.
PGA wave in the comment
Love
section
you,
for Stuart, man. Rock on. Thank you for letting me interview you. It's certainly a godsend tonight to hear these details and these stories from you guys. And Randy, you being here, thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're a good friend, and you support the show.
I
you
love you.
You're an
You
OG.
guys are my family, plain and simple.
That's right. You're an
Plain and
OG,
simple.
man. So we had Susan on, I want to say like 7 or 8 months ago, something like that. And we were hanging out on the show talking, and she went into some details about that night that I hadn't heard before. So we'll go ahead and play a clip from that show, and you can always go back on Facebook or whatever and rewatch the entire show if you like. That's why we do this on Facebook, to kind of archive it in a way. And so we'll holler back at you whenever this is over. Pam, you want to go ahead and get it going? One of the stories you were telling me earlier too, before I forget.
Yeah.
It was you were telling me about a buddy of Nathan's that talked to you afterwards and was telling you about how much he loved Damage Plan, and you want to go back over that?
Oh, yeah, that's cool. He said, I had one of Nathan's good friends. He was at the concert that night, the Damage Plan concert, and him and Nathan was talking. You know, they hadn't seen each other since high school, and they was planning on, you know, meeting up later, a couple days later or something like that. And he said, man, he said, I'll tell you why. He says, I just wanted to tell you this because it's how I remember him being. He said, man, he kept on jumping up and down saying, $8. I just can't believe it. $8, I'm going to see Vinny and Dime. He says, $8. I just can't believe it. He said, and then he'd turn around, you know, go take a shot, come back, man, I just can't believe that. He said it was almost irritating. And you know, because there was like I don't know, 3 or 4 bands before Damage Plan come on, so they had a pretty good buzz going, nasal and mosh pits and all that kind of shit, you know. And that's just, he said, I just needed to let you know that, you know. And I said, I really appreciate that, you know. That's cool. You know.
Yeah, you take any kind of outside information you can get, right?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I went and got that. It was a 700-page police report on everything, and it showed. I mean, they had 3 Coda buses, which are Greyhound buses, sitting with like 300 kids at this concert to give their statements. They had never seen, because they said before, when you'd go to something like that would happen, nobody wants to talk. Said everybody was ready, but you know, it's not here or there because the guy was killed.
Right.
By Negemeyer, which is a fucking angel saint, you know. But yeah, that's something else.
You know, Nathan, I get from that story, he was loving life.
Oh God, yeah.
And it was protecting life.
Oh my God.
He was one of us, bro.
No way. He was going to stand there and see. I mean, he's done, you know, stuff here and there for other people and everything. And there is no way. And it's so crazy because he just had a CPR class 3 weeks before that happened. Wow. And that's what he, you know, tried to do for Dime and Jeff. And that's when fucking Negemeyer come in there and kicked ass. And poor Cat, I just like, that is just like, that guy just tears me up just to even look at him. How somebody, I don't know. That's just what certain people have in them, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know, I got pissed off. I watched a couple of those things and it showed Nathan jumping up on to try to get up on the stage, and big fucking bodyguards swatting him down and shit. And you know, he tears down a couple amps and then finally gets up there, you know, and then, you know, of course the camera shut off. I imagine there's more to it if you want to see it, but
right.
I got the
I saw everything about that I needed to see. Yeah,
there was a lot of heroes that night. That's really crazy that. And they couldn't even believe that there was that many people. I mean, there was people all over the place helping, and it happened in like 14 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I mean, those emergency squad people, I got a copy of all the 911 recordings and everything. How everybody was just like, it was just, I went over and over again to just make sure that they did everything to try to save Nathan. And they did. I mean, clear to the fucking hospital and everything. And those other guys too. There's some girl, I think it was Aaron's girlfriend, that was at the hospital, and there was no way, they wouldn't even tell her anything because she wasn't family. I felt so sorry for her. It's like
them fucking stipulations.
Oh my God, man, it's just like crazy. I seen a couple people come in there. I don't know who they were with. They had like, it was all like black leather and shit like that. I don't know who they was. It's just, it's all just like a.
Well,
I don't mean to just get everybody down.
No, you're not.
But there was just like, you know, the people in Texas. I mean, those people up there that was on that stage with those guys is just as much. I mean, Kat, and then you got John. And all that, I mean, and there, you know, I think the manager and somebody else got shot too. Just like really terrible.
Yeah, that's one thing I never realized is like, you know, all the other people that got shot that lived, you know.
Yeah, from Texas, and you know, nobody in Texas knew what was going on because.
Right, it wasn't here.
Yeah.
And you said when Negemeyer went in, there was everyone was following him, like 100 people, because he's the only guy with a shotgun.
I mean, he said from the time he pulled into that driveway, I mean, there were bunches of people following him right on his car saying, you know, you got to get in there right now, you know, and shit like that. And he's just like, he fucking went and truncated his car, pulled it up, bought out that fucking big ass shotgun. And the whole time when he's going down the back of that place toward the back door to come in the back door, he's got people yelling and screaming at him, kill that motherfucker and shit like that, you know. And that guy, I mean, he took razor shot right in between, you know, amps and shit. And he had Cat, you know, fucking.
Yeah.
And he shot that motherfucker right in the goddamn head. And it dropped Cat, you know. And I mean, he had to go through a lot of shit too, Nagam.
Yeah, he's got PTSD and all that now.
Yeah, and he had to go before you know, anytime somebody's shot, you got to be investigating shit like that. And that guy, I'm gonna tell you what, all that happened in like 14 minutes. It was just like crazy.
Yeah.
It was 14 or 19. I can't remember right now, but yeah, man, I was looking at all those 911 calls and shit. It's like, man, everybody was freaking the fuck out after they understood. You know, at first they thought it was a part of the show. You know, I read all those statements that every one of them made, and it was some of them was pretty close to getting everything right. You know, and then one kid, he ended up, him and some other kid ended up leaving before the giving your statement. And when he got home and told his dad had him call right into the fucking police station and he made his statement.
Wow.
I mean, so, and yeah, I don't know. They wouldn't release anything about it because there was a lot of.
Oh yeah, of course, I'm not the only one. No way.
His fucking mom knew he was having problems like that when he was 3 and 4 years old. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't need to pass judgment.
I appreciate you sharing all this with us. You know,
it's just like some shit you just can't believe. But I believe if you talk about it, I mean, I'm not one. You know, he jumped up there, and there's a lot of people who wouldn't fucking do that.
You're right.
And there wasn't just him. There was others too that did it. And I just think these people are just like angels. I'm just.
Yeah. Running towards danger.
Yeah. It's like
I mean, they're
crazy.
heroes, you know. That's Isn't that one of the stipulations of a hero, to run towards the danger and not away from it?
It's just like crazy, because especially when I watched that thing on that VH1, and he kept trying to get up on that fucking stage, and he got up there too. This big old, that guy looked like he weighed about 300 pounds. Kept swatting him back. He's like, fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah. So on the Pantera behind the music, it shows clear footage of Nathan over in the background.
But that was really, when I seen that, I thought, you know, when I was going to go watch that night when it was airing, I didn't think anything like that was going to be on there. And I'm sitting up in bed watching this, and all of a sudden there's Nathan. I see him. He's popping up in that white fucking t-shirt. And God, man, he's just like, he is going to fucking get up there, you know? And I just stood straight. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Right. Had to
and
be.
I thought, man, I know he would do that, but goddamn, he's going up there.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was people dragging on his fucking shirt and shit, you know, trying to keep him from going up there, you know? Because the guy still had fucking, he had Cat in a, you know,
choke
headlock, you know, and he done shot Daryl and Jeff. It's like, damn. And I don't know, it's just like crazy. But I just can't. Cat is just like, when I see him, I just want to just grab him and just hug him. And same thing with John Graham too.
Yeah.
He was the, I think he was he subbed for Don's guitar.
Or Grady or whatever.
Night. Yeah, I don't think he was supposed to even be there. I don't know. Don't quote me on that shit, because I got a buzz on and I can't remember. But John Graham is just like, you know, I had talked with him, but I ain't going to discuss it. You know, that's, I guess you would call between me and him. You know.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Susan, for opening up to us like that.
Right.
It's important that you're represented because you were hit, one of the ones that were hit the hardest, and we'll never forget what your son did to help our hero, in turn making him a hero as well. Like that video said, running towards danger. You could always talk about what you would do, but unless you're there, you won't know. I probably would have run out like a chicken shit. I don't know.
I don't know what I would do either.
It's so hard to tell, but in that spur of the moment thing, he wasted no time, and you can see it on the video. So he jumped up there. So I think you should be very proud of him. I know you are. So
absolutely.
What's up, Randy? Come on in.
Didn't want to interrupt. I was lagging there.
No, you're fine.
Well, we were working on painting that fence out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost done.
Write your name on it using
Yes,
the right
sir.
tool.
Yes, sir. I'm famous for my tool. So.
Yeah,
man.
Okay.
Put up or shut up. We already talked about this.
Yeah, man. And thanks again, Randy. I mean, it takes a lot of people want to. I hit Kenny King up to be here tonight, and he said he's not leaving the house. And
right. Well, I think I've done this most of the years for you, but one year I told you no, just because I wanted to stay in.
I get
exactly.
it.
And I'd really like to get with Kenny, and sometimes you want to have me and Kenny on. That'd
Absolutely.
be great. In fact, we could get a whole group of us together that make folks' heads spin and
that'd
stuff.
Be amazing.
Yeah, because you guys would feed off each other's stories.
Oh yeah, well we were all there, and everybody remembers something different. That's what's so great about
their
the same situation,
their own experience.
And so I mean, I'm just so blessed that to have met y'all and y'all do this, and then. Like when I was on here with Stuart, it was so much fun. It wasn't even funny, and we could have gone on for 24 hours, guaranteed.
Right? Yeah, catching up and getting it out there, man. It's good times.
It's just so wonderful. Thank you for doing this, Corey, Aaron.
Thank you guys, and it's these guys out here watching that.
Oh
they motivate
everybody
us.
knows I love all y'all out there. Y'all are all my family, have been for years, and even if you're a newbie. I wouldn't be your friend if I didn't think you as I.
Right.
That's right, man. So, yeah, thank you guys out there for you. You motivate us. We don't. Everything is organic. We don't buy likes to feed our ego or anything like that. And so we appreciate y'all's support. And it boosts us to do better every time. So we want to take this information with our buddies that were there, and get them to share it with you guys, and Randy's always happy to do it. So
yep. And just so y'all know, Corey's been working with me. It's been a good while.
Yeah.
On a bunch of stuff that I have video wise and audio.
Yeah. Recently, he's given me all these cassettes from his answer machine. I can't believe Randy's kept this stuff, but he has all of his answer machine tapes. And being the character Daryl was, you can imagine the crazy, goofy messages that he would leave Randy. So I tried to get at least one prepared for tonight, but I was so busy all weekend.
And it would be hard to choose one. We've only gotten through 2 tapes, I think.
Yeah.
And there's so much stuff there. It's not even. That's how Daryl and I communicated, because I was working, going to school, being the Pantera party starter, all this. So we communicated through my answer machine, which, by the way, are on cassettes. And I've got, I'd say, at least 100 tapes. So if you're an old friend, you're probably going to be on the show on something you left on my machine.
That's right.
Plus, you're going to hear some stuff from Daryl that is just going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, Corey's working with me, and we really want to try to get a little movie type thing together, but everybody's life is hectic, so we do it when we can.
Exactly.
But y'all, when we get a sample out, I'm going to have a little private viewing for some close friends.
Yeah.
Which of course y'all are included, and hopefully we can just keep Daryl's memory going. Daryl did the same thing for me with Elvis stuff. And I would like to see Daryl's memory just as large and long-lasting as the the king of rock and roll
absolutely.
himself.
He's the king of metal,
because
man.
you know that's another thing Daryl and I shared, the love of Elvis Presley. Of course, that was my first concert, and everything's been downhill since, as Daryl would say. Even though I saw all the greatest, but once you see Elvis, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah,
And,
it was like when you were co-hosting the show for a while, and you had this thing where you wanted to ask everybody in the room what their first concert was, and you had them beat every time.
Well, no, it's not a competition.
Oh, I know.
It's what forms. See, I get goosebumps when I hear about other people's first concerts. Like, that formed me. I mean, I was already knew where I wanted to be, but from then there, it solidified what I was going to do and how I was going to do it.
Me too.
Exactly.
And your first concert is a deal. And so, the only thing that ever irritated me about that is people say you're gonna laugh. No, I will not laugh, because your first concert in your era where you lived is important. Okay, whether I like the band or not, or that has no bearing. Do not ever compromise what you like.
Right.
Period. Stop. End. I mean, in life, music, whatever. But anyway,
absolutely.
The reason I asked that question, yes, so I can say mine was Elvis.
That's what I say. Like, no one can beat you, dude.
But, you know, it's not a competition. It's something I'm genuinely interested in. Guys used to hang out with me to be their wingman, because I wouldn't worry when a girl got in the car. I wasn't hitting on them. I was asking them, what's your presets? What do you like to hear? You know, because I ain't going to hang out with nobody that don't know music and don't have taste. Not that I won't be their friends. I ain't going to date them, okay?
Yeah.
All right, you know, I'm from the old school. If you don't like something, you just move on, let them people do their thing.
Exactly.
Okay?
But anyway, time, you know.
And see, once again, I grew up, and we all, me, Daryl, Vincent, and all you folks that grew up with me, we grew up in the right place, the right time, when everything was cool.
Amen to that.
That's all I can say. I wish, I was telling everybody earlier, maybe I said it on here, I wish people could be in my head and experience what I'm trying to explain.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm totally with you there.
Because I feel sorry for a lot of folks.
This next video we're about to watch, Stuart's interview, it's an excerpt of that over the weekend, and it's so crazy because after, you know, hanging out with you all this time, hearing stuff that's relative to what you've told me, it's like, oh, I know what you're talking about. I wasn't even born.
It's a small world,
I was
brother.
like maybe 10 or 11 then, but I know what you're talking about. And in this situation, I had problems with the van. I took it up to the transmission shop. My boy Randy hooked me up with a ride home, and he said, you know, there's a meat market right here next door that I used to go to as a kid, and still goes to, because we went over there. I said, well, I got to see it. And you told me the story about, you know, Daryl and all you guys. You want to go ahead and fill in the blank?
Yeah. Well,
Tell
first of all, been going there my whole life. My grandmother was going there. I don't know how long it's been there, but we've been going there since it was open by cows. And when we worked at the tattoo bar, we would have cookouts. Well, we'd get all of our meat from the country meat market. That's what it's called, on Lancaster and Fort Worth. Been there for years. You buy a cow, you get a freezer, they deliver it, set you up. It's all good. Anytime Daryl would have a party and wanted more than Costco or Sam's had, then we go to the meat market. If he wanted something special, then we go to the meat market. And it was that way all our lives. Our family used to split cows. In fact, I think we split a cow with Jerry and Carolyn one time, my parents, because you wouldn't buy a whole cow back then. You didn't need that much because you got a lot more than what you get now. Okay, and so you'd split it with a person, plus it'd be half the cost.
Exactly.
But, you know, that was, if you ever want meat, they run specials. Use my name because they'll give me $20 worth of free beef.
That's right.
But no, whether you use my name or not, go up there and get your beef. They've been there for years. They won't dick you around. If something's ever bad, all you do is take it up and say, look, this ain't no good. They'll give it to you right then plus extra.
I don't know if you can see my eyes, but I'm like drooling.
I've only had to do it once. Well, and you can tell I'm excited And I don't get excited about food anymore.
I get excited about food. I love to
But
cook. I
when
love
it
to
comes
cook.
to the meat market, and this is the place, and we've been dealing with them my whole life, just like going to Candlelight Inn.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's
people that
what's-
run down Candlelight, you're a liar. Anyway,
Yeah. A lot of people, all they know about is Campo, which is great. I love Campo,
Yeah.
but there's also Candlelight. So
Campo's cool. Don't get me wrong. Love Campo, but nothing is better than Candlelight Inn, and that's where we spent most of our lives. Daryl spent the latter part at Campo, which, once again, great, and I go there regularly, but Candlelight Inn, numero uno.
Well, there's that historic event of them signing the contract for Cowboys from Hell at Campo.
Oh,
right?
that as
So
well.
That's
That
a
as
big.
well.
But either way, just cruising around town with you and hanging out, you get the real sense of the history embedded in this entire area around here. You know, it's like every road you drive down, it's like
I can tell
you're
you
connected to Daryl and Vince, you know, because they drove down the same road at some point in time.
I don't know if I drove you by their houses there in Arlington.
Yeah. I've been by their house a few times, but you know, we're just at this transmission shop, and you start telling me the story of the meat market right there. They used to come there all the time.
And the tattoo bar's right down the road,
Exactly.
or it was right down the road.
Exactly.
Aussie
So
Rabbit.
this video here, you get to hear Stewart actually reference that place, and I knew it right away whenever he said, "You get the beef, and they give you a freezer or whatever." And I was like, "I know what you're talking about." So that's
Yep.
a hell of a deal if you ask me, anyway. So
good darn right.
Check it out.
Days, or where do you want to go now? Because my mind was floating around out there, you know, like certain shows and gigs that stood out, you know, like I remember like going to Colleen, and we were going to the t-shirt place, and I had a tank top on, and I took the motherfucker off and they printed it. I probably got the only, you know, wife beater tank top ever made with you know, the Projects in the Jungle shit. But I used to run the Spotlight, right? And so it was like an old-timey theater fucking Spotlight, right? I'll show you, here's the demise of me right here. And so you'd have to hold this motherfucker, and there was a thing, you know, that shut it off, you know? And like, they had certain songs like, you know, boom, 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 you know, Rex Rocker, you know, actually be over here. And then you'd have to hit it, go over here, and there's Daryl. You know? And I remember one time, I must have smoked some weed or something, right? And I remember I must have floated off, right? And so they're up there going, fuck you, motherfucker. You know, because I'm over there, spotlights in the ceiling, you know, that weed must have been kicking in, you know. I don't smoke that shit anymore, but whatever. We did that shit. Like I said, I lived at that house, man, chicken fried steaks, dude. You know, and that house was kind of out of control, you know, Rex was there, and like, you know, Kenny King, that's where they picked him up, was in, down in Colleen. So you go back to the house, that's when we all got the boot out of the fucking house. It was, you know, they had the fucking deal, like, you know, you buy the freezer, and then they give you all the fucking meat, right? And they had the big old black fucking frying pan. So we'd come home from fucking, you know, Sherman or whatever, Denison or whatever, fucking Munster. And when we get home, man, fuck yeah, man, fucking chicken fried steaks, right? And so, and they had that Pantera hotline. It was like 274-5744, right? You know, it was the Pantera hotline. And, you know, so you get all these prank calls all the fucking time on the motherfucker, right? People calling, talking shit and bullshit. I guess they might have had answer machines back then. And so, whatever. So somebody called, and Daryl answered the phone, and they hung up. Oh, motherfucker. And so the phone rang again. And it was famous last words. It was Rex Rocker. He goes, I'll handle this. So he gets on the phone, he goes, listen here, you motherfucking piece of shit, motherfucking cock-sucking fucking whore bitch motherfucker. Oh, the Eldon. You know, it was Daryl's dad. And so he fucking, hey, motherfucker, shit. And you put fucking Daryl on the fucking phone. You know, and so he's ripping Daryl a fucking new asshole. And so, you know, and Vince is always the boss, man. So fucking give it to Vince, you know. Oh, that fucking shit. You got all those scumbags at the house. This could have been a fucking record company calling for a record deal, and you're fucking answering the phone. Get all that trash out of the fucking house. And, you know, so, you know, ding, ding, you know, now you're homeless again, you know. You gave us all the fucking boot, you know, and it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do back then, but whatever. But I'll never forget those chicken fried steaks, dude. Yeah. The good old days, you know, like I said, I never had nowhere to go or anything, and like Daryl, like his mom would buy him like more fancy, kind of more modern shirts and shit, you know. Like I got some old pictures of me where I'm wearing some of that stuff because Daryl would give me some of the clothes, you know, which is really cool, you know. I didn't have fucking nothing, you know. He'd say, hey man, you can have this and this, you know, all the people that have helped me out along the way and fed me and everything else. Because Pantera would give me a little money. I had a place to fucking stay. It was a party, you know. I remember one time, it's like, you know, and so like when we went places, like Terry and Vince always were in one room, right? Because fucking Vince is the one that has to fucking handle the business, right? He's got to be the responsible one. And then Terry needs to go to bed at a decent hour because he had a kick-ass voice, you know, and so you know, you can't be fucking tanking it up all night. So they put fucking, you know, Rex and Daryl, the fuck-ups, in another room with like losers like, you know, me, and then, you know, I think maybe Kenny King would be in there, right? And so whatever that does, so like we get down to Colleen, right? He's playing Colleen. That, you know, that was the turning point, right? Because I had moved and it was a bunch of shit or whatever, but I ended up in Colleen, Texas. You know, we don't get into all that, but I had to get out of town, and so I lived down there. And Pantera played there all the fucking time, dude. So it was a fucking party, you know. Hey, there's fucking Stuart Taylor, that fucking douchebag, but he lives down here. And so, I mean, it was a fucking party, dude. Whenever they came down there, they used to let me get on stage and play with them, you know. And they would say, here, play this song, Cocaine, right? Eric Clapton or whatever. And so, and they would give me Terry's guitar, and I would go, da-na-na-na, now. I used to have a few pictures of that shit, but I don't know where they're at. You know, but they just told me to just go, da-na-na-na, now, you know. And Terry's guitar, I think, was tuned down a little quieter than Daryl's guitar or whatever, because, you know, he used to play rhythm too, you know, on those cover songs and stuff back in the day. And so, and it was crazy. Like, I'm going to go all over the place, right? I always ask people if I'm crazy or whatever. When you start talking to me, man, all this other shit comes back, right? And so, and Metallica had come out, right? And like at first, I didn't get all that heavy music at first, you know, because I've been listening to Van Halen and shit for too long. But that Seek and Destroy song. Well, Pantera hated Metallica and that kind of shit, right? And so I think it was like the second time they let me get on stage, and we go, you know, and then the song crumbled or whatever. And so then I'm on the guitar, I go, fuck it. You know, right? I'd learned that riff. And fucking Daryl came over there, bang! He fucking pulled the cord right out of that guitar, dude. Hell no, he ain't playing that shit up here. But then you see years later, you know, they played all that shit, and they caught on too, you know. So, but yeah, that was some funny shit. But yeah, man, we had a blast down there in Colleen. So like, I remember like one afternoon, we're gonna go to the fucking, I guess it was like a fuck book movie theater, you know, and its fucking theater was fucking pitch black, right? So I guess people are in there jacking off or whatever, you know, so we're gonna go check this out, right? So we go in there, you know, and you're going, okay, you can't see shit. And I'm going, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna sit down right here, right? And I sat down, I go, I sat down right on a guy, you know, hey man, fuck, I get the fuck out of here, fuck this shit. I sat right down on a motherfucker. He's probably over there fucking, I fucking sat right, I couldn't see anything in there, man. I'll never forget that shit either. Because we used to walk around D Street, right? I think it was the Red Carpet Inn is where we used to stay. Like, I still have the original contract that Daryl gave me in 1984, because I actually had a guitar. I don't know where I got it, but it was a black copy of a Les Paul guitar, and it was an Ibanez guitar. And so fucking Daryl, when he came over there, because we would cook out and shit and then drive around the neighborhood and throw water balloons at certain people, you know? And so he saw that guitar. He goes, man, I gotta have this fucking guitar, man. I gotta have this guitar, right? And I said, fuck it, you can have it. You know, Daryl's a bad motherfucker, right? And he wrote out this contract, I still have it. It's amazing that I still have this shit that he wrote. Diamond Daryl, insane mind, straight as an arrow, take Stu Taylor's only guitar away from him and owe him one kick-ass guitar from me. You know, and it's amazing, like I said, that I even have that shit.
Right. I wonder who them certain people
Right.
were, you know?
The specific certain.
Stewart is the best storyteller around, man.
I tell you what, you know, I'm sitting there filming him, and I'm like, when he started, he said, I sat on a guy. You know, it's like I tried to keep the camera straight and
Right.
start cracking up. You know? It was so fucking hilarious, man.
Stewart has got, you know, that's what's great. Everybody has the stories, and I can verify Stewart's are real and true. You know, because I meet people that want to lie. Why would you lie about knowing somebody, okay?
Had that
I've had
conversation
people,
with her earlier.
Somebody, conversation will come up about Pantera, and I'll say, yeah, I knew him. And people say, yeah, right, and walk off, you know. Like I'm some, you know, random Joe, but it happens so much that I understand it.
Exactly. You know, even before he died, you know, everyone's like, oh, yeah, I used to be best friends with Dime, you know.
Right.
Go hang out. And some of them are right, but some of them are fucking full
My
of shit.
apologies for being so quiet this show, but that's the reason why, is because, like I said, I came from Michigan. I was a fan from Michigan.
And see,
I came down here and ran into him twice, and that was it. And
that's cool.
I'm not going to pretend to know, but I also do feel the loss for the music. And then, you know, everybody around me knew him. And so I feel you know what I mean? When I sit and talk to you, I feel
that's
you.
what
I
I
understand
wanted
you.
to convey is the way Daryl did, but I mean, only one could do it that way. But another example of that, we were in Vegas. They were opening up for Typo Negative.
Yes!
At UNLV. Right, and I've told Corey several stories. In fact, I gave him the Peter Steele hat.
Can you guys believe that?
It was actually on Peter Steele's head, Daryl's head, then my head. And when I found out how much of a fan Corey was, I gave it to him. And this was before Peter Steele died.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I didn't give it to him because I felt sorry for him because his buddy Peter Steele died. And I told him some stories that I can't tell nobody else. But
that's definitely one of the top favorite things.
I was going to say, okay, we were in Vegas at the UNLV, right? So before the gig, the day of the gig, we're out gambling, doing this, that. Me and a couple of buddies I'm with, or maybe I was even by myself. But I saw this chick that I like. And I said, ooh. And, of course, at any Pantera gig, I got a free ticket. And, you know, it was one of the few times that I didn't have a girlfriend. So I go up to this chick and I say, hey, man, you know, you want to go to the Pantera show tonight and all this? And start talking her up and, you know, tell her I'm a friend of the band's and all this. And she snubs her nose at me and walks off. All right, fine. So anyway, I didn't have anybody for the show. But, of course, the show starts and I'm there. And it's my time to shine. Daryl calls me onto the stage to do my part. And I come up, and guess who's on the front row doing this? But that chick that I asked to come to the show.
That's great.
And she was, you know, fingering at me and handing at me to get her up there and let's go. And I just gave her the big old finger and went on my merry way. In fact, we had joints we were passing around, and I didn't give it to her on purpose. But anyway,
hey, that's what you do.
Just good times.
Because she didn't give it to you on purpose.
Everybody is so great, but every once in a while, you get a stick in the mud.
Right, of course. So, you know, always.
But karma's a bitch.
Absolutely. So we're obviously over time already, so we're gonna keep going because we still have videos to get to, and these guys give me permission to keep going.
Hey.
So they're here as long as you guys.
No time limit for me.
No time limit. We might go 3 full hours. I don't know, but that would be the magic number, right? So let's hear some jams, dude, with some never before seen footage of Black Rose Productions. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Tell us a little bit about Black Rose Productions.
Golly, we got some video of that to share too on the.
Some of it's going to be on this video.
Okay, all right then. Walter O'Brien, who was their original manager, Concrete, all that good stuff, and Daryl, just Daryl was always making stuff up. He was always doing something in downtime, which including making prank phone calls. Not necessarily prank, but just not knowing it's him. Maybe trying to get a record deal for something. I don't know if this was Tristan 1690 that was in the home videos. But, dude, there was just so much stuff Daryl always did. I mean, I've probably forgotten a jillion different pranks and things that he did because it was nonstop. If Daryl was awake and there wasn't something going on, he was going to create something. And so Black Rose Productions was a name that he made up to use for artists that he thought were going to make it or somebody he was pulling off.
So he'd call local band people that he knew and be like, we want to sign you or something?
And, well, it's hard to decipher things. We need to get these videos out where we can... But yeah, he was pulling somebody off, but then taking a chance on getting a contract maybe for somebody.
Oh, okay.
You know, being real, but it's hard to explain. Daryl didn't take many things seriously. I mean, that didn't sound... Daryl was a serious individual, but was never serious. Okay? All right.
Yeah, I get it.
If that makes it, it's hard to explain, you know. I'd have to tell 5 stories to explain that one.
Know exactly what you're talking about, just like Stuart was saying.
Yeah.
So, Pam, you got some Black Rose Productions?
And Liz, thanks for your comment. That's funny and interesting. Right on. That you
This is
were there.
Jerry Rose with Black Rose Productions. Yes. Black Rose Productions. Yes. When will it be in? This is very important. I need to get a hold of him. I've got the hottest project yet, Tristan 1690. When should I check back? Well, I'm Jerry Rose. I'm like God. I'm everywhere. Just tell him I'll call him back or he knows how to get a hold of me. Alright? Jerry Rose, Black Rose Productions, Tristan 1690, hottest guitar player in the world. Tell him. Tell him I called. Thank you. That sucks.
Praise the cameraman. Praise the cameraman, dude.
I'm sorry. I was good drunk.
You knew everything. I mean, like you were saying during this video, every Friday and Saturday night, this is what you were doing.
Minimum Friday and Saturday. You know, some places they play 6 nights a week. Well, guess what?
You were there, man.
I was there. And I worked a regular
Filming
job at the same time.
Thank God.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all are witnessing crap that will never happen again.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I got to enjoy this and actually do it and film it.
Yeah.
And nobody knows this, but there's been enhancements done that has warmed this up and made it better by this man right here.
Oh.
And it is just unbelievable. I'm feeling I was right there. I was seeing it. I was being there. Yet once again, I'm not blessed once but twice. And then I'm getting to share this with y'all. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
If y'all like it, cool. But I'm telling you, this. Now I know that it was an experience. Then I didn't. I was living my regular, everyday life with my friends and
Swinging
doing
out
what
and
we
filming
did,
your friend's band.
just like y'all did. We were filming my friend's band.
Right.
That's what we do, and that's kind of
and
of
of
what
course
started this format. So we
the
can share
venues
these.
made it possible back then. I think that was Dallas City Limits.
Yeah, Shantara chimed in and said, "Yeah, that was
Which
Dallas.
was one of the best venues ever. It's the Lodge now, so the building still stands on Northwest Highway in front of Ricardo Juarez.
Right on. Yeah, I don't doubt that back in the day, if this technology had been around, you'd be doing exactly what we were doing right now.
Yes,
You know, putting
yes.
your videos out there of local bands and, you know, having the bands on.
That's
And
what
Don
we
would be
did.
doing it with you, right?
Yes. Well, see,
Right.
that's where Daryl got his love of videos from me, because the first time I was able, I bought a video because I said, man, I want to see this. I want to watch it. And I also said, these guys are going to be huge and I'm going to have the video.
Right.
Of course,
I don't blame you.
everybody, almost everybody, you're full of shit, Bell. All right.
Yeah.
Watch and learn. And of course,
Watch it go.
it went.
And what's funny about that is you can name, whenever you see other people's video, you can name who took the video because that shit was new technology back then. It was expensive as fuck.
And there was only a few that had
there's only
it.
a couple that can afford it. It's not like cell phones now where...
Right, and
you
see,
know.
I was one of the first to have a cell phone as well because I had a degree in broadcasting, right? So I started doing radio. The only radio gigs I took were overnight, and one was in Bridgeport, Texas. One was in Terrell, Texas. Well, at midnight,
two opposite
there's
ends.
nothing in between. So I had a bag phone, 89.
Uh-huh.
All right, nobody even knew it was a cell phone because it was so
I thought
powerful.
it was a lunchbox or something.
No, when I called them, but it was so powerful. It was better than a regular phone. But anyway,
Oh, wow. Right on.
But anyway, once again, I was afforded that because I had a great job, Tom Talley. And then, of course, Pantera. Good. But anyway, life was more simple, less expensive. But
awesome.
I got chills watching it. I was back again. Y'all that were there know what I'm talking about. Y'all that weren't, please watch it again and again.
And again.
And
Check that out, man.
and get in the mode, turn it up, get a good stereo, and
Get
just
to pull on that good
experience
stuff, you
what
know?
will never happen, again in a lifetime. Orange Sunshine. It will never be repeated either.
Little paper on your tongue, you know? That was the 90s.
I have no idea
And see,
what y'all are
even
talking
young
about.
guys,
Acid.
even young guys bring back memories for me.
Well, I know now.
Well, our questions, we have a lot of questions. So.
Well, and I'll answer
Oh,
any
were you
that I
joking?
can remember.
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
Any that I can remember, I'll answer.
I ain't ashamed to answer, but hey. Dude, we have the questions, yeah. So if that jogs your memory, man, we want to get, like you said, we want to get all you guys here.
But you
Kenny
said I'd
King,
be your
Stewart.
friend in the 90s if you knew what this was. Well, I was doing that way before the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, fun, till the daddy takes the orange sunshine away.
That
So,
T-bird's going bye-bye.
Cool, man. Let's keep the momentum going. Some Bell Effects glass biting. I have this thing. I
Yes.
suck with titling
What?
videos. It's some random clips, just jacking off, basically.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Smoking weed
Y'all
and
ready?
jacking
Hey,
off.
I can
Smoking
say that
weed
Hey,
and
they used to
jacking
get
off.
mad at me about my T-shirts. I'm just saying.
I can say that now because we have a disclaimer, so it's all good.
Smoking weed and jacking.
So yeah, check this out. This is pretty cool.
Hey man, next time, 2 for 1.
Blue Devil!
Better.
Hey man, were you popular in high school?
That's what I heard. Famous for my tool.
Off the curve. Yeah. Hey Daryl.
Yo!
Is this a rental car?
Hell yeah! Light it up!
One, slam it! Two! Glass fight! Now you see it! Now you don't! Now you see it!
Well, they would have liked it down.
Now you don't!
Well, see, they would have. 3. Dude, hold it. Just hold it tight.
You look like a pope.
Hi. Are you Randy Bell from the John Holmes Project? Hi. Can I have your photo?
One more time. You can bite this thing off. Get it up there. Shit. Dude, you're fucking crazy.
Hey! That's the whole fucking top up there.
Play.
Glass fighting.
Oh, we got a glass here. Tell me real good while you're at it. Watch this, okay? I've seen you, dude. I used to break them over my head.
Boom.
Live at the gig.
No. Rubber. Hold on, I got a bite.
Half the bag of coke.
Half the bag of
Weed.
That's what comes up.
PullgetterTV.com. Oh, yeah. I don't have that anymore.
You don't have PullgetterTV.com anymore?
No, I let it run out until I rebuild it.
Well, now
I'll
it's just-
probably have it come back as Pullgetter TV. So, right on.
Anyway,
Right
Well,
on, right
now I know.
on, right on.
Now I know why it was called glass biting. So,
Well, that dude, people would do stupid stuff to try to impress Daryl. It was
I believe it.
crazy.
I believe it because they set the bar, pretty high. So if you're going to impress them, you gotta.
But what's funny is
I don't know if that was
Daryl
impressive.
said, "Idiots don't impress me. Never have,
yeah.
never will."
I don't know if that's impressive.
Right.
That's what's funny is people would do stupid things that nobody would be impressed by, thinking it was going to impress them. But
Watch me do this.
that's what booze and drugs do to people, and
Oh, yeah.
fame.
I've done some pretty stupid shit drunk, and
Oh, well,
my
so
buddies
have I.
have too. So
I was gonna
So
say,
have I.
I bet the booze and
But
and
sometimes people go too far.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, but the booze and
That's
drugs
just
have
me.
more to do with it than the fame. That's for sure.
So Daryl's obviously thrashed some hotels with you in there. What was the worst thing you ever seen him do? If you recall.
Oh, well, the whole room was wrecked, period, stop, end. There was nothing that could be trashed that wasn't trashed.
Now-
On more than one occasion.
Was he at least cautious on like doing that kind of shit to roach motels, or would he do that at like? The,
Oh, no, the only
expensive
thing he had
hotels,
to be
too?
cautious about was not hurting himself.
Yeah.
You know, because a couple times he could have ended up with cut off fingers.
Oh yeah,
Mashed
electrocution.
fingers, broken bones, and electrocution.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you're young and dumb, I've done it, you've done it, we'll probably all do it again.
All of us.
You know, ain't nobody special, but Daryl was blessed and he was able to pay for it. And that was what was going on at the time. We did it, we had fun, and nobody got hurt, thank God.
Right.
That's all I can say.
So, Pam, let's get this out of the way real quick before it gets too late. The Stewart home video I was talking about, where he talks about behind the scenes of what was going on with his claim to fame in the home video 3. And it's funny, too, because when you watch this...
I never have been able to get to the end.
Oh, I didn't, yeah. What's funny about it is, you know, he obviously, like, was kind of put off having to explain it. He's like, you know, I'm known for other stuff than that, but people come up to me, you're that guy. And he's, yeah, but I do other shit too, motherfucker. You know, sometimes you can't help it. It's like a band writes a jack-off song like Whiskey Dick did Wookie Pussy. And, you know, they did it just for fun, and it ends up being like their hit, you know.
Sammy Hagar with Steve Perry singing The Iceman. It was about a drug dealer they knew. It was just a joke song that they did, killing time. It became a hit, man.
Yeah.
Popular in high school, same thing.
That's right, dude. It's a hit. So, and Neon Nights, like Black Sabbath with Neon Nights, like they needed another song, so they spit that out in 5 minutes, and it's like one of their best, in my opinion.
Yep, there you go.
So yeah, check this out, you guys.
Hey, Mr. Reddy, after the show, I hope to watch your video.
It's a hit. So in Neon
I don't know if that was
ready.
What?
You're being in the home video.
Oh, all right, yeah. So I had this little bump on my butt, right, somewhere back here, right, and it was just a bump, right. It wasn't a fucking boil or so you know. But I think of fucking boils and fucking like zits and shit. Because Bobby used to get these giant fucking carbuncles on the back of his neck. Like Rex Rocker used to get pimples like a bitch when we were kids, right? And so that's what they used to do at the house. They called them jammers, right? You know? And so anytime you had a fucking pimple, these motherfuckers with their dirty ass fucking hands are wanting to get all over your ass and squeeze. Daryl like to squeeze the pus out of them, right? You know? And thank God I had pretty clean skin. You know, and so, but like Rex had a lot of pimples, right? And he had them on his back a bunch. And I remember because they used to get his ass on the ground and he would lay there and fucking Daryl would be squeezing these fucking, you know, and it's just making it worse, you know, with your dirty ass fingernails. And I mean, I remember them fucking ripping them on his fucking face and shit. He's, no, stop. That's what Daryl, he called it popping jammers, you know, whatever. That's another. That's, you know, 84, 85-ish shit, you know, popping the old zits. So, all right, so you got to get me back on track because my mind racing. Okay, so I had just this little bump, right? And so there's this kid named Jerry, and I think they called him Watch or whatever. And so he was buddies with Brett. And so, and I hang around him or whatever, you know, he's hanging around, and he worked at a doctor's office. I said, man, I got this thing on my butt, right? And he goes, I can get all the tools and shit, you know, scalpels and shit, and I can cut it off your butt. And I said, all right, cool, man.
It's not gonna fucking hurt.
Ew, look at it.
Might as well be in pornos after this one.
So I had that little bump on my butt, and so Jerry goes, man, I can get all this shit. I worked at a doctor's office, so I can get, like, the deadening needles and all that. And I said, cool, right? You know, you just come over here to my apartment and, you know, slice this thing off, whatever it is, you know. And so fucking, you know, so somehow Daryl catches wind of this shit, right? You know, and so now it's like, well, you can't do the operation unless you fucking do it over here, right? You know, and so these people are under command, you know, and I'm thinking, whatever, you know, there's no such thing as health insurance or doctors back then. And so I said, well, all right, fuck it, right? You know, and so, well, you didn't know it's going to be this huge fucking production, right? So you go over there, and there was like that bean bag, right?
I can't. Dude, get out. I can't do it. Here we go.
On every angle.
Just look down and don't even look up, Stuart.
What are you going to do first?
Oh, fuck, man.
It's all right, you know. But then, like, all these people are in there, right? And one of the things I'll never forget is obviously, I guess I didn't, you know, when I was a kid, I never could get any pubic hair, right? And I really don't have much hair on me, and I still can't even grow a beard to this day, right? You know? I mean, I can't, you know, I have hardly any hair on me. And so I was always proud of whatever fucking hair I had on my balls, right? And so fucking Rita's in there, and I'm going, hey, man, this is bullshit, right? You know? And I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And Daryl's going, oh, it's all cool, it's all cool. You know, so I pull my fucking pants off, and Rita goes, damn, Stuart, you need to trim that bush, you know? And I said, motherfucker, man, I'm fucking out of here. I don't need this fucking humiliation, you know? And so, whatever, so finally, you know, I take my pants off, and I'm laying on that bean bag, and the kid's back there fucking, you know, cutting the shit open, you know, and then Daryl's over there. That's where that shit comes from on that guitar, that Dime Bonics guitar, where it says, bitch, get back, you know? But that's what I said, right? Not what Daryl said. They used my saying on Daryl's guitar, because the motherfucker kept coming over there, because I kept saying, look, I'm fucking leaving this motherfucker, right? And so he kept coming over there with his dirty ass shit, and, like, you know, trying to, like, step on me to fucking, you know, keep me on the fucking bean bag. You know, and I said, look, motherfucker, bitch, you know, he's going, Stuart, get down. And I'm going, bitch, get back.
Stuart, get down. Bitch, get back.
Get back with your dirty ass fucking shoe, right? You're going to infect my butt, you know? And so, like the kid, so finally, so he cuts this thing open, you know, and then he squeezed all that bullshit out of there, right? Which I, you know, actually made it into Rolling Stone magazine. It's the only time I've ever been in there. So he squeezes all this crap out of there, right? So there's obviously some kind of a pus pocket or something. And so, you know, he does it and puts some alcohol on it or whatever, and they don't stitch it up or anything. And he goes, well, if it starts turning really red, you know, you're going to have to go to the doctor, you know, but it healed up on its own. But, you know, but it was, you know, that's why Pantera was in Rolling Stone, because of that home video. And it was a thing on their home video, and it said, in this video, a roadie got his ass lanced. You know, and I'm thinking, bitch, I wasn't a roadie, motherfucker, you know, but whatever, you know, and I can tell you other stories about running into people, and, you know, a lot of people, you know, when they meet me, they go, you know, oh, you know, you're sick, or whatever, you know, or you're that guy, you know, yeah, I'm that fucking guy, you know, that got that thing chopped off on a fucking Pantera fucking home video. That was probably one of, like, the biggest highlights of all their videos. You know, like I said, it made it to Rolling Stone, and that's my little tiny mention. But, like, I'm in all of them. You'll see me going part 2 or whatever, but, you know, that's why, you know, people go, hey, that's the guy that got his fucking ass popped. You know, and I'm going, hey, motherfucker, I'm known for other shit besides that. You know, it's, like, ridiculous, you know, whatever, man. So, it's all good, you know. Fun games.
Doctored your butt up, Band-Aids?
No, I think he put something over it, but it healed on its own. And like I said, it wasn't something like it would hurt or anything. It wasn't a zit. It was, there was something back there, but it's gone.
Like taping your ass together, right?
Well, yeah, because they put, and it was all in my ass hair. You know, because then, like, you know, we do it, and then, like, you go over there for fucking Christmas, because I always spend all my Christmases with Daryl, right? Because I don't really have no family or nothing. So I would go over there, and then, you know, and he's got this big fucking giant TV, and he's playing the whole fucking thing, the full version, you know, not the, you know, edited one for fucking the thing, you know. And so I'm going, dude, you know, I mean, you gotta relive this shit, you know? Come on, man. Come on, quit it. Whatever. like I said, I'm known for other shit besides that, so. But yeah, man, I'm thankful that, you know, everything that I got to do with that dude, you know, even the bad times, good times,
Dude.
I mean, it's such a different dynamic for those of us that were fans differently. I was watching this in Michigan, watching this dude get his ass popped, and as he put it, his ass popped, and just a huge fan. So, I mean, it's interesting to sit in here as a different view from where you guys are at, looking at it from.
Oh yeah, because it happened right over there.
Right,
15 minutes that way.
Absolutely.
And you know, them home videos, dude. That, you know,
I had them memorized.
It's now like a godsend. You know, like a huge part of his legacy. They got awards for that, like an album. You know, that's what you saw in that video. Stewart had a plaque up on his wall too of those home videos he was in.
By the time I moved down here from Michigan to start my first band here, Mahuke, and then grow into the people that I've been in bands with since, and start my music career, I had number 1 and number 2 memorized. I could probably sit at the beginning of number 1, video number 1, right now, and tell you every line that happened. Where are my clothes? I could probably even do the "Where are my clothes?" and do the eyeballs if my eyeballs would open that big. If I hadn't smoked as much,
So,
you know.
Speaking of clothes, man, you said Vince used to give you all of his clothes after a tour, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ask for them, or?
Well, yeah, he would have them at the house, and he'd say, "I'm going to go donate these clothes." I said, "No, Vince, let me have them."
Awesome.
And so I'd take them. Well, after that, he would just swing by the house after a tour with a trash bag and drop them on the front porch.
That is
so he
cool.
could get them out of the way. And, you know, I've got most of that stuff packed away.
Yeah. And the safe lock bags and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So they're in good hands.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a ton of it that I wouldn't wear anymore. So one of these days I'm probably going to have a little auction or something for some.
I mean, and that way you get the highest bidder, and you know they're gonna take care of it.
Right.
You know it's
well, see, that's
to,
the whole deal. I have so much stuff, and I've been unloading a lot of it because you can't take stuff with you when you die.
Right.
And I'm able. Everybody that I've gotten rid of stuff to is a fan.
Yeah.
And I know that they're going to treasure these items.
Yeah.
Right.
And stuff,
Absolutely.
You know.
Totally. You know, like that Typo Negative hat that Peter gave Dime gave you, and you gave me. I still can't believe it, dude. Thank you so much.
And well, you know, it ain't no big deal. It ain't nothing but a thing because you're my brother, your family, and I mean that's what it's all about, dude. Is
Well,
this
thank you, man. I
you know, it's
appreciate
just
it.
Plain and simple love.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
As far as that video we just watched, you said you were there, right?
Oh, yes.
And you were there, and you got to witness it all go down, but
I left because I can't handle that. I've still not watched the video all the way through because I just don't deal with that kind of stuff.
I understand.
But no, it was just a regular party. And Stewart's talking about a cyst. There's a surgeon guy there, a nurse or doctor or something. Next thing you know, that's on Daryl's back porch. He's laid over some lawn furniture that's on the back porch.
Oh, right there? No, he's in the living room, leaning over a beanbag.
Okay, well, then they moved it inside after I left because it started on the porch. The back porch.
Right, it's probably cleaner inside.
And,
well, maybe.
But, yeah, I can remember that pretty well because that's one of the few times that I
You
left.
and you had to leave. It's pretty fucking
And plus,
disgusting.
it was later in the evening. Everybody, you know, it was probably time to go home anyway. You know?
Oh, okay.
And, of course, that was Dalworthington, and I was still living there in Arlington, so just around the corner.
Right on.
But, yeah, that's a humdinger and Stewart. Everybody remembers him for that, not the other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's
you
right.
know.
It's all part of his legacy, man, you know?
Yeah.
Why not?
His ass is his legacy.
Yeah, why not?
I'm a little jealous.
Take what you can get.
Yeah, assistance. I wish
that was his passion. So Van Halen in Germany, he took these iconic photos, and I'm probably beating a dead horse saying iconic photos, but that's what they are. I've seen those photos since I was a kid. You know, Dad would buy me a Hit Parader magazine, and I didn't know it at the time, but I mean, it's just I'm still amazed by it when I think about it. All them photos, you know. I say that was in Hit Parader. You know, yeah, Metal Forces magazine and
absolutely
Metal Edge and all that stuff he was in, and they're still being published because that's how absolutely badass his photos were.
That's right.
You know, and it's like you with the video camera and Stuart with the still camera. You guys were doing it just because it was fun. You didn't know at the time that you were capturing history.
Right. Know? Absolutely. A historical moment every time.
Man.
It's amazing. You know, amazing lives you guys have had.
So jealous.
So we're winding it down here. 2.5 hour show. Not bad. We got...
Thanks for sticking
with us.
We might
roll with the 3. 25 minutes left, but we have another video here. And this is... you know, when I said Stuart's legacy, you know, that's just a tidbit. You know, the whole Pantera 3 thing. But, you know, he went around his walls, and you get to see some of these photos he took, as if you haven't already, but you get the stories behind them. And one thing I took from this interview, probably the most, and Pam too, when we were watching it back, was what Slayer did with their photos. And it's really genius, but it's also kind of shady in a way.
Don't ever do it.
Yeah, Pam said don't ever do it. But, you know, on a business sense, it's pretty genius, but I wouldn't do it. And Stuart found a way around it. So without further ado, you know, you can see what I'm talking about here in this next video. And this video here really represents the legacy of Stuart, and that's his awesome photos that he's taken over the years. So let's check it out, Pam.
Pantera, please. Let's get Pantera. Let's see if we can find... I mean, that's a badass picture of Pantera. That's at fucking Joe's garage right there. Look, you can even see Vinnie Paul back there, right? In the back. Some badass shit. Yeah, so... I mean, like this right here, that's Daryl taking a shit. That was in 1990 in L.A. when they were... Pantera was showcasing at Concrete Foundation's Forum. And I got a series of pictures where he smashed this guitar up and shit outside, and like that was their first tour they ever did with Wrathchild America right there. You know, like I taught Daryl how to pose for pictures, so all those photographers that came along after me, dude, you can thank me. You know, because when Daryl was a kid, you know, when you know, motherfucker's playing guitar, he's doing this shit, right? And in my mind, I wanted that. I wanted Eddie, you know, when Eddie Van Halen posed for that picture, that was like the biggest thing ever, right? That was in 1981. And so I thought, you got to be able to pose for motherfuckers, right? When you're taking pictures. And so I told Daryl, I said, look, bitch, you got to fucking look up, right? You know? And so, you know, I taught his ass, you know, and he was playing some badass riffs and shit, but, you know, in the end, I mean, Daryl, you know, could pose, right? So, whatever. So, and that was the next year. That was in, I think it was 90 or 91, because you can go right over here, because they made a poster out of that, from that show. Depends on how good my eyeballs are, but you can see, it says what year it was. Like when they showed, because it had been 91, because we had a company called Metal Excess Video that was part of Metal Forces magazine, and we filmed, I think in 90 and 91, but that was from that same show. I shot that when Judas Priest played in that little fucking ballroom there at that fucking hotel. I mean, that was badass. That was badass shit. But I mean, you can, you know, not every picture has a story, but you know, I mean, some of them do, you know. I mean, that's like with Kerry King, right?
You took that picture too?
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to photograph Slayer because something happened with one of their early demos overseas, right? And so they blamed it, you know, because back in the old days there was a lot of tape trading and all that shit that went on, you know. It was a way different ballgame than what it is now. And so they fucking hated Metal Forces magazine because they said that Metal Forces somehow let that thing get out. And so it probably hurt their album sales or whatever, this is before, my time, but I wasn't allowed to photograph these motherfuckers. Fuck you, Metal Forces. Fuck you, motherfucker. And so when Kerry King came and played with Pantera at Joe's Garage in 1988, that's where that picture's from. And so they're playing. I got pictures of Daryl and them jamming with them. But I said, how can I got to get this motherfucker by himself, right? Away from Pantera, so it looks like it's a Slayer concert, And so, there's that original picture right there. And so they made a fucking poster out of that picture. But, this is on a Pantera stage, right? Pick Stuart Taylor. And so then you find out what Slayer does is when they want you to send them all your slides, and then they take a needle and they just stab all the ones they don't like, so you can't fucking use them. And so I'm thinking, oh shit. So, and I was poor as fuck back then too, right? And so I'm thinking, oh man, I got to make some duplicate slides, because I don't want to send them my original shit, And I remember because I still have a tape recording of Kerry King calling me when I was living at the Tombstone factory with Jerry, And it's a phone call where it goes, I answer the phone. They go, I'm looking for Stuart. And I go, yeah. And I go, who's this? And he goes, Kerry. And I go, Kerry who? And he goes, Slayer, dude. Or Slayer, bud. And I go, oh, Kerry, what's going on? I've been avoiding his ass, right? And I'm going, yeah, man, trying to get this, these slides developed, whatever, But I ended up mailing them to him. And he was in Florida at the time. He was taking guitar lessons down there. And I still got the fucking little paperwork for where he wrote me that little letter and thanks for the pictures or whatever. And then he told me too that he had this picture hanging up above his fireplace in his home in Arizona because it was the biggest fucking poster that they had ever made of Slayer at that time ever. So, but it was a Pantera show because I remember Rick Perry from Gamma Side, he did the fucking review under the guise of Fred Garvin. Rick Perry wrote the review of the show, so, but whatever. I don't know, because then it goes on, whatever. That's Sepultura, the first American tour they ever did. That was after the show they did at Joe's Garage. I guess it was like 1991. I don't know.
Then that one there?
That was like, that's probably like, not Cowboys from Hell, it's like Vulgar. No, there's Thrash and Burn. So yeah, that's like 1994. That was that other magazine, and so we used those because it was in the magazine. Like it would show you, it would go, like they would have a different artist. It would say Halloween, reads Thrash and Burn or whatever. So they used that in the back. That picture would be in the back of the magazine. It would say Pantera reads Thrash and Burn. Subscribe now or whatever. That's why I had him holding that fucking magazine there. And Daryl had them googly eyes, right? And so we did this. This was like in, let's see, he wrote Stuart or Stu rip on as usual. Like I always say, Pantera as a band never used any of my pictures ever in any official capacity whatsoever. And
why is that?
I don't want to get into all the politics or whatever, but Daryl did. At least Daryl let me do like his guitar endorsement and fucking deals. Like he tried to jack me off, because he put Stuart Wayne Taylor, because it says Stuart Taylor all the time, but he used my middle name and shit, trying to fuck with me or whatever. Because we did the string endorsements and a bunch of other different shit, through the years. So, at least Daryl gave me a little piece of it, Like when they flew me to Indiana to do this, when Daryl first got his big Washburn deal, that was when they were on tour with White Zombie and whatever. And I remember the guy goes, I'll give you, we're going to pay you $1,000. And that's like the most money ever, right? And Daryl goes, no, you're going to pay him $1,300, right? And so Daryl even made him pay me more money, right? And we were there for like fucking like 3 days. And Daryl was, I don't know, man. I think we were in, it was in Indy. We started in Indiana, and it seemed like we were hanging out forever. And I met with Carl Schlocker, the vice president of Washburn, and we're at fucking hardware stores, and he's looking for hooks and chains and all this bullshit, you know. And finally he goes, man, I got to get out of here, man. You know, you got to get this motherfucker out of bed and get these fucking pictures. So this is like the last fucking night. And Daryl, so we get on stage, this huge fucking stage, and was it Aaron that was running the sound back then and shit? They're fucking with the lights and all this shit. Play this song. Going, look, man, we got to take these pictures, and fucking Rob Zombie and all these motherfuckers over there standing there, you know, like, you know, get off the fucking stage. You know, because we're cutting into their sound check time and shit or whatever. But it ended up being that fucking poster right there, and they made that cutout doll. That, like, I have one in my washroom back there, you know, like standout cutout that they made. And because then Daryl was going, man, we got to go on fucking tour, man. We got to go on tour. And that's when I lived in my fucking apartment over there, Bowen and Division. And, you know, I'd put a little food out for my dog and shit. But nobody had no fucking key to my apartment or anything, you know. Fuck maintenance, fuck you. And so we get on the bus, we fucking go to Kentucky, right? So, like, these motherfuckers are gonna sleep all day. I thought, man, I gotta get out of here, man. You know, my dog's gonna fucking die, right? You know? And so I go to the fucking payphone because I didn't catch my flight back like I was supposed to, right? So I call the airport, and I'm going, look, man, I got this ticket, and I need to get home, you know. And they said, well, no, you didn't catch that flight. They said it's going to be like $300 for you to fly home. I said, oh, no, you know, I am on tour now, right? So I get back on the bus, and I'm sitting there, all these motherfuckers sleeping and shit. I said, dude, you know, there wasn't no such thing as a credit card or anything back then. I damn sure had no money. And I said, fuck it, I got to take my motherfucking chance. So I got a cab ride to the fucking airport, and I said, look, this is all I have is this fucking ticket right here. And they were, you know, thank God for who those people were. And they got me on a flight and flew my ass home. So I get home, fucking Daryl's going, you fucked me over, you fucked me over. We're supposed to go on fucking tour, motherfucker. You know, and I'm going, dude, man, I had to get home. My fucking dog would have been dead, dude. I've been gone for fucking 4 days, you know. But, you know, you think back on it, you know, had I been more responsible, I would have had somebody go check on my dog, and, you know, and I would have, you know, went on that fucking tour, and, you know.
All right. Got to go on tour. I don't know if that video was skipping for you guys like it was us, so I apologize. If it was, Facebook does this compression thing, but the good news is I'll upload these videos to YouTube as well, so it'll be like lossless, flawless quality and everything. And so if you guys want, I mean, subscribe to the PullgetterTV channel on YouTube, and you'll be able to check this stuff out there too. Also, this broadcast tonight is streaming live to YouTube as we speak as well, so you can like immediately watch it in better quality on YouTube after it's over or whatever, or future tense, watch it on YouTube anyway instead of Facebook. But there's not, since we just started doing that not long ago, not much action in the comments section. So anyway, so yeah, that Slayer thing, poking holes in the pictures they didn't like, so you couldn't use them anymore anywhere. So that's just, I thought that was genius. That's crazy. I would have never thought of that. But all right, we're winding down, and we just got done talking about, we got 12 minutes. We're going to stop at 10 or so, and we're just talking to Randy about Vince's shirts and everything, how he would come back from tour and give him his shirts and everything. And we talked about the Booger shirt earlier, $750, which was $7,500. You said they charged.
Yeah, he just put $750 on it. That was actually, you know, Daryl said $750. And the T-shirt printer misunderstood and put $7.50.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Anyway.
It's a funny shirt, man. I wish there was some more of those floating around. But you have the only one that I've ever
There's
seen.
only a couple that I know of. Well, I'm going to say he made, I think 10 was the least amount he could make.
Quantity was, yeah.
So there's no telling. I know a couple friends that were given one, whether they still have them or not. It's a different story. Not everybody saves things like I do. So
that's right. That's so cool. You and Stuart both have saved everything over the years.
Right.
You know, that contract he said he had with the guitar and everything that Daryl wrote out and signed. It's just,
Right.
and I was thinking, like, you know, being that young, to have that business mindset, probably from his dad who ran the studio too.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you're going to get a guitar from a buddy, write out a contract. You know, it was all contract driven. So.
Right. Well, and another thing, you know, I saved all this stuff, and I never told Daryl no for anything. Anything he asked, I gave him, except for one time. And this was, you know, in our later years, he asked if I could give some of the stuff back that his dad had given me. Like their 45s that he'd given me, some Pantera stuff that I saved because his dad didn't save anything. And I said, sorry, Daryl, it's not my fault that your dad got rid of his belongings, because it's not like they were stolen or anything. His dad just didn't save
keep
them.
stuff, yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to give up my stuff that I have. That's the only time that I ever told Daryl no, but he completely understood.
Yeah, that's understandable.
He completely understood.
And where would it be now, you know?
Right, exactly. It would, yeah. Where would it be? Because it's all at my house right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's check out this interview I did with you I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Yeah, when I was still at the house in Arlington,
Yeah, where he bust out, you got all that stuff out, and one at a time showed me all that. I couldn't believe it, you know, just being a buddy of yours and getting to hear these things, you know, firsthand from you is just an amazing thing.
Well, thank you.
Interview. So it's been an amazing experience for me to live vicariously through your stories, man. And tonight, all of us, you know, so much better than getting shit-faced and jamming Pantera tunes.
I'm glad people are enjoying it because, you know, other than my memories, you know, they're my memories, and, you know, maybe some people care, some don't, you know, but it's just really weird how things turned out, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Hey, how y'all doing? Randy Bell here. Welcome to PullgetterTV. Oh, come here. That's my son right here. That's Riley. He's a little pull getter. Rebel number 2. All right, anyway, good to see y'all. Just want to give y'all a little story that I had about Daryl. I used to be Santa Claus over every Christmas Eve over there, pass out gifts. And of course, the main function was just to get together, have fun, have some drinks, pass out some gifts. And we got cool, unusual gifts all the time from the guys. And one of my favorite of all times is, of course, the Pantera hockey jersey. Yeah, boy. And, you know, we always got good stuff. People would always get jealous they weren't invited to the party because they missed out on the good gifts and stuff. But then you could get something good like this, and then in the next package, they'll load you up with, say, a thing of Mexican jumping beans, or some week-old stew cans, you know, been sitting around, something he didn't want to eat even when he was drunk. But anyway, got a whole bag full of stories here. We could go into all kinds of stuff. When Vince was through with his, this ain't about Daryl, but Vince, but anyway, when he was through with the tours, he'd drop his bags of clothes off, or tell me to come pick them up, and I'd take them home. And of course, I saved most of them, I'll wear some of them, so on and so forth. As everybody knows, I was popular in high school. It was a one-hit wonder fluke, and when it did hit big, we had t-shirts made up, and did the tour. Joe's Garage, 6 nights a week, man. Rock and roll.
Is this the song that was supposed to be the hidden track?
This was going to be the hidden track on Cowboys from Hell, and the record company found out about it and said, no way, it ain't happening. We need some real music on y'all's debut album. So much for that one. All right, there's probably several different variations of this story, but Daryl had these made up. They rented an RV for one of their first tours. I think it was before they were signed. And they just tore it up. I mean, when they got it back, it was a piece of crap. And so they turned it in without saying anything. Well, they got a call back later, and it says, "What?" They said, "Well, everything's cool, but there's this huge, gigantic booger, and that's going to cost you $750." And they were talking about $750 or something like that. So Daryl went out and had these shirts printed up. And I've had it ever since.
What's the front?
Used to wear it every once in a while. But it's in the t-shirt bag. One of these days, I hope all this stuff's gonna make a room, like pillows, curtains. Let's I want to say hi and thank you again to Shantara, the lady, the picture lady, the one that's got all the goods. She busted me up with this picture here of me and Daryl back in the old days. I believe it's at Joe's, I'm not for sure. But Daryl had bought me this shirt, and every time that I wore the shirt, I'd get up and perform. Daryl had seen the shirt from across. He goes, "I walked in the store and I saw you over in the corner. Walked over there and it was this shirt." But anyway, he bought it for me. So anyway, I'd get up and I'd sing. But before I'd sing, you see Phil over here in the corner. He'd come down and he'd rip my shirt open, tear all the buttons off of it, and pull my britches down. Then I'd start singing, you know, whatever song, whether it was Popular or Smoking in the Boys' Room or Mary Had a Little Lamb, whatever. But anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. I sewed buttons on this shirt many times, and I still got it somewhere. I was going to bust it out and have Corey pull them off for me, but I couldn't find it. We'll do that on another episode, dude. Daryl hated being bored, and his whole mission was to not be bored and to entertain anybody that was around. And I'm sure you can get many stories from the guys on the tour bus. You know, even in his later years, I'm sure it never stopped. He did not like to be bored. And, well, just for instance, we'd be out in the neighborhood growing up as kids, and there was a bunch of little kids in the neighborhood. They're all standing around doing nothing. You know, me and Daryl was just outside drinking a couple beers, talking, bullshitting, whatever. And, you know, he'd go, "Man, the kids ain't doing nothing." So he'd go in and get, you know, he did this at holidays and even regular times. He'd go in, and he never spent change. He always kept it and put it in this bucket. And he'd load his pockets up with him. And he'd come out and he'd call the kids down and start bullshitting with them, telling them stories, and ask them what they're doing. They're saying nothing. He goes, "God, y'all got to make something happen. You know, you got to blow it up, you know, all this good stuff." And so he'd start chunking this money in the air. And these kids were going freaking berserk, bumping into each other. And I mean, it was entertainment. And he would have a ton of coins. And so we'd have entertainment for an hour or two of these kids going after all this money, all these coins, and more, and fighting with the other kids. But, you know, back in our day, kids, you fought and then you were still best friends, you know, you got your stuff anyway. Throwing, making up games with pictures out of porn magazines. You know, you got to hit the poo. If you don't hit the poo, then you got to take a shot. If you hit the poo, it'll give you $5 or something, or, you know, owe you a burrito from Taco Bell or something. But with Daryl, never any boredom. PGA all the way. Y'all have fun. PGA all the way.
All right. The road goes on forever and the party never ends, man.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Randy, for being here, and thank you guys again.
Thank you for having me.
Can't reiterate it enough. Time is our most valuable asset. When billionaires run out, they cannot buy more. So
time is something you can't steal.
That's right. I appreciate you guys giving us your time tonight. I hope it was worthwhile. It was for me personally, I know, and I hope it was for these cats too.
Amen.
So
some good therapy I needed.
Yeah, and if you guys want to support us, man, like and share our stuff. That's it. You know, we're not trying to sell you anything. It's not an ego thing, and we just want to. It's good for our morale, to be honest with you, and it motivates us to do this more often and be the best that we can do to win your time. So thanks for tuning in. Check us out next Sunday. And Randy, I hope you come back more sooner than later.
Yes,
you know, because you know you're always welcome here, but I know you're a busy man trying to make that money. So I'm thank you for taking the time off tonight. and joining us, man. So
Thank you for having me.
Thanks again to Stuart Taylor. You guys want to support him? Go check out Stuart Taylor Photography on Instagram and Facebook, and Scumscunge, his band that he's gotten back together after 10 years. He's out doing shows now and everything. So hook that guy up with some love.
Apex Signs.
Apex Signs, yeah. If you guys need signs, decals, or anything, go check that out.
Stickers, that kind of thing for your band.
Yeah. So, right on. Well, I guess we're out of here. We'll see you next week.
I'm back for PGA. Get your pull.
That's right.